Suki has redeemed first. Let's fucking go. Oh, my phone has volume. Oh my god. I just hiccuped and like burped at the same time. What the fuck? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Mark. There's like 2 minutes still in the thing. I'm gonna wait it out. You guys are gonna get waited. Waited? What? You guys are gonna you guys are gonna wait. 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 I don't remember 2012. How have I gotten myself into this? Any more waiting and I'm causing the bite of 83? Was that the bite of 87? Okay, we see Suki, just Val. There's obviously Bagel and I. It's the El Macaco! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh. Bam, 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 bam. Oh my gosh, I'm in so many servers, by the way. Like, so many, like, Discord servers. No one knows how it ends. Rest in peace, our pieces. And won't even align. One day you're going to die. Okay, welcome. Bagel, they are able to hear you now. Where did I go? Where? Oh my gosh, where did I go? There I go. Gasp. Also, guys, Bagel has been making and putting a whole bunch of um little uh PNG tubers on their Ko-Fi. Wait, are they still up there? Bagel, are they still up there?
They
Okay.
are. Yeah, they're still there.
I don't have Bagel's Ko-Fi link at the ready, but like, oh my god, El Macaco with the 20 streamed. Holy shit. I didn't realize you had a 20 stream streak. Holy cow. That's wild. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, El Macaco has a watch streak, and then I saw 20, and I'm like, holy cow. But yeah, guys, Goob, Scraps, and Brightney have been optimized, and they each have new skins. I don't have Brightney skin because I obviously don't have enough. Um, but oh my gosh, I haven't seen Scraps' idol yet though. I want to see. Oh my god! Oh, oh my gosh! She's so I still remember playing her, but oh my ability is ready. Oh my gosh, I love the new skins, but we are going to be playing Louis. I want to distract. I want to get. Oh my gosh, where did my face go? What is my quality at? Hold up. Do I have my go? It's what? Oh my gosh, I'm faceless
You can
Shrimpo.
distract us, Goob. Lock the fuck in. The fuck?
I'm a Louis distractor though. Why?
It's
Oh, wait.
optimization day.
Za.
Lock in.
Za.
It's optimization day. Lock in, Sid. Lock in. What are you doing? Lock in. Lock in. It's optimization day. Be goob. Experiment a little, damn it.
It'll be the new Scanlan. Neapolitan. I used to call this Napoleon ice cream. Just so y'all know. ISO's locked in, by the way. Oh, did my Discord break? Oh shit, my Discord broke. Hold up. Meow. Meow. Go Gadget. Pixel Stealer. Oh, are you talking about? Oh yeah, I need a. Hold up. Bagel, are you still editing your TikTok?
I'm still yeah, I am.
We gotta wait for
I'm almost
Bagel,
done.
guys. We gotta wait for Bagel.
Yeah, I'm posting a
Sigh.
TikTok of all the update stuff as a spoiler. It kind of has a little bit of everything we found so far, but like at the same time, you know.
I'm excited to see the new map. Wait, I wonder if there's more stickers. Hold up, let me go check. Any goober scraps that are new? No. Oh man. Who all is watching the stream, by the way? Glamorous lizard. Who all in this, yeah, I'm talking about in the run, and they're like in this area right here. If you're in the stream, do the good job sticker.
What's this update? This update is alpha.
Alpha 1 or 0.15.1. I looked away. I don't know if any of you guys did the sticker or not. Do 3 circles if you see this in the game. If you're in the game and you see it, like, and you hear this. Okay, Suki did 3. Okay, Just Val did 3. It's just those 2. Everybody else besides Bagel is just they're just here. They're just here. They're just here to be here. They just want to hang out in the room where it happened. Not enough tapes. Oh my gosh. I need research. I need research on Bassie, Coco, Flight, and just those 3. Where the fuck is Flight? Yo, this shit is wild. Oh wait, I'm in the way. My fattest is in the way. My fattest is in the way. 96%. 3 stream streak. Let's go. Also, sorry if like the later streams, like, sorry if those kind of. Where's my music, by the way? Sorry if those made you guys lose your
Glamorous
stream,
lizard.
your streaks. Glamorous lizard. Where the fuck is my music? Slaps Obsidian with Thunder Punch. Excusez-moi. Ugh. Sigh. Bagel, is your TikTok done?
Oh, we can get in the run if you would like.
Okay. Once my music is responding, because Spotify doesn't want to work with me right now. It literally just says has been hotel, brighter, not oh, it stopped. Oh. Am I going to have my music? I would very much like
Low
more
key,
music.
guys, we gotta lock in and have different goob skins because
Your
that's how
your
the last
Luxion
run
mimics
we
electric
were
moves.
in kinda got cooked.
Okay, Spotify. Spotify, what are you doing in these times right now? What are you doing right now? What even is Spotify doing? What is Spotify on? Is that indecisive? Oh my gosh, it's indecisive. Oh my gosh, it's indecisive. Guys, it's I was like, wait, I saw like a glimpse of their name. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's indecisive. Brightney's face is still flat as fuck. It's flat.
I don't think that's gonna change, Pookie Bear. No offense. Are you guys by the alley?
No, we're heading to the alley. Which alley are you at? Oh,
I'm
wait.
at Sproutivator.
See you going to Sprout.
You know where I'm gonna be.
Okay, let's go in. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Wait, I think there's a goob. There's a goob on his way. There we go. Oh, Roger.
Oh, is no one playing as Scraps? I guess I haven't played as Scraps yet. Not with this update.
She's so slow. I don't like
That's
playing
okay.
as her.
That's okay. That's like it's the like we gotta lock in though because we have to have at least like one of the tunes. I was gonna back up for you, but like
Damn, I don't get a backup?
I was gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna get a backup.
Damn.
Well, actually, you are getting a backup because other goob is got it. The other goob got you. I could
Which
play as
one?
Brady though.
Oh wait, there's just one. Damn.
I should.
There's my
actually,
last.
Hold up. I don't think I should do magnifying glass. I might have to think
Ooh,
about
not
that.
a good idea.
I might have to think about that one.
No.
I think I gotta think about that one. What's Oh, stamina is pretty good. I don't know what I'm doing.
Bagel, we're all waiting on you. 4, 3,
Fine.
2. Oh, we do have a Louis.
Oh, I gotta start recording. I gotta start my recording. Or should I stream on my... I'm not gonna stream on my...
It's Elderbean. Elderbean is distracting. They're Louis.
Aren't you distracting?
They said they'll distract. I'll be backup.
That's what we call Scraps energy,
Please,
dude. Scraps
please.
core.
Thank you.
Fucking Toodles is on me. Somebody take Toodles, please. Thank you.
So what button did you say it was? To like alert?
Middle.
Middle?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It
Middle
doesn't.
click
It doesn't
of your mouse.
do anything. It's not
It's
doing
like
anything.
your...
The mouse wheel.
No, it's not the mouse. Yeah, like the wheel.
I'm gonna try.
On it.
Oh. It didn't take away any of the ichor.
Did you fail it still?
Yeah.
Did you fail it?
Yeah.
Well, I think you had to be on it.
I was on it.
That's what it did. Maybe they updated it already. Cause I have a record. Maybe it's not this. It can't be early floors. Maybe I don't know.
You know, the fact that I saw like a video of someone complaining of the eye. Dude, can I have? Oh wow, it really does say 2. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Waiting for the world to. Here you go, Louis.
Hope a goob's ready to pull me in. No, I got it. I got this.
Get in here! Oh, there goes Gigi.
Bye, Gigi. Sayonara. Everything's on my TikTok though, but it should be mouse click. It won't work in elevator from what we tested, or it might be a different thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with it. I haven't, like, I've been, like, kind of clicking, kind of, but...
You can hold it down, too, and it should pull up, like, a thing of what you want. But you can't do it in elevator, so you have to wait until the floor.
Why is the other goob on 1 heart already? What the fuck? Why is the other... Why are they on... How?
Oh, I'm lagging.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
What, please? Fuck you! Eat shit! Oh wait, that's Silky. Hi, Silky. Still, how dare you take my from me? Didn't let me Vimo.
I think it might be good for me to distract instead. I keep hearing people getting hurt.
Imagine getting hurt. I was locked in when I was playing. There, I say it. We were locked in. But you might not want to extract with your 1-star skill check.
Indecisive, wait, why are you at 1? How are you at 1? You're a 5-star stealth dude. How are you at 1? Smart thing, oh my gosh.
And we did another one. Let's go.
Another one.
Another one. Thank you.
I wasn't even...
But try pinging now. Try pinging now. It might be a certain floor as well, because we did it at, like, floor 7. Because it might be reduced for spammers.
Can you try?
I can't because I have a trackpad.
You don't have a trackpad?
I don't know if there's a button that I have to click for it to work.
Why are you
for my
on
mouse
trackpad?
middle click? Why am I on trackpad? Because I'm a fucking laptop user. The fuck?
I have a keyboard and a mouse attached to my laptop?
I do not. I use my trackpad.
Oh my gosh, you need to get a mouse.
I have a mouse. It's called my Bluetooth mouse that I only use when I'm graphic designing because I actually hate using a mouse.
You just play with the you always have played with a trackpad?
Yeah, I have always played with trackpad, buddy. Fuck! You all need to stop using fucking V modes or shit, you know? Lock in.
I'm scared
now
of
I know
you.
how to feel as an extractor.
I'm scared of you.
What do you mean you're scared of me? That's always how I played. I've told you how I played.
Louie, you just let the... Louie, I was trying to get...
They need to lock in.
Louie, what the fuck?
Sprout, stop trying to do machines. I hope you fail and everything goes wrong.
Damn. Takes this... I just lagged. I'm frozen. I'm frozen. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Takes the sit and bagel. What do you mean by that? Dude, this Louie is, like, avoiding taking one of the Twisteds. Tackles?
For me, too.
Oh. I was like, takes the sit and bagel. Not... Okay. Oh, it was not locked in.
You manic laughed over there, dude. What the hell? This is not the run I was expecting. Scraps is a little wave. Oh, I love her. Fucking explode her.
Good job. Why does this say my message can't be sent?
Oh, okay. That's been happening to me, too. It's like the fucking lock thing. the locked chat shit too.
That's weird.
Because if somebody, like, if Stuki or them talk in the chat, it will show up as a lock.
Huh.
For
Assembly
players.
just exploded you.
Don't explode me, Assembly. You know better. There's consequences to your actions.
Hour of joy. I'm taking over distracting. Your message can't be sent also, and Indy is just an idiot and won't show her face. What? The fuck you mean discharge on everywhere? Huh?
Get the elevator.
What?
You asshole!
Oh my gosh!
extraction
Oh my gosh!
candy.
Look at her! Look at her! Her face. Oh my gosh! She looks out of it.
Yeah, no, Brainy looks disgusting.
She's fucking out of it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, she looks actually foul.
She's
You
fucking
should see
out of it.
Goob, Twisted Goob when distracting him is so actual ick. I hate it. And Scraps too. Ugh. Oh my god, they're so bad. They're so scary. I hate them.
You better back the fuck up, please. You have been leading Twisteds to everybody. You got me hit twice because I lagged. And you led, like, the other one to me.
I think you're off the team.
Who? Do we know this Louis?
I don't know.
Elderbean?
We should probably do private server next time, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I bet you this is some random person that we don't know.
Definitely.
Oh, I really want to do the thing.
No one's ground type also eat thunderbolts. Oh my gosh, y'all are arguing in my chat. In my Twitch chat. Lol.
Oh, Barsha. Hi, Barsha.
I'm heading to. Oh wait, you have 2-star spell. 2-star Steve. Where are you? That speed candy looks
this is my
really
fucking
weird.
machine. This is my machine. Fuck you.
Time to spam Thunderbolt on Sid specifically. Ah!
Thank you.
There's a machine right there, by the way. But I'm gonna take that tape. Actually, wait.
I
Yeah, I was
better
like,
skill
wait.
check than you, dumb.
Just
dumb,
Val is
dumb.
there. Dude, there's a tape over here, dude. There's a tape over here. Where's my tape over here thing? There it is. Lost my head. Why don't we meet at the museum? Walk around, see all sorts of faces. Why is nobody doing that machine? Oh, oh.
Stop, I didn't know it was over there. Shut up.
Places.
Get the elevator.
Nice, it's a night on the town, so how come you're feeling gubby, 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 gubby? I know, must be pure insecticide. If you touch it, you might gubby, gubby, gubby,
I
catch
think it's
you
saying that because
later.
there's underage people in the thing as well. Your message could not be sent because you probably saw my messages, right?
Yeah, I see your messages.
That's probably why. It's because some of them couldn't be sent to other users because they're locked behind another chat.
Huh. That's odd. That's very odd. That's very odd. I keep thinking that, like, I'm losing the Twisteds. No, it's because it stays there. Try, I wanna be everyone's dependable guy, but nobody ever asks me
Everyone's
to
at
be.
elevator except for, yeah.
And then Bagel gets Dragon Pulsed specifically. I can't fucking speak. Oh my gosh.
Brainy, you look so nasty. Stop aura farming, Claire.
She looks out of it. She genuinely looks out of it.
You should honestly see Goob. You should see Goob.
Like, she looks like she's like, I don't know how to explain it. She
You
got
don't
a
understand what I
lobotomy
saw
at
as
Claire's. She got her lobotomy at Claire's. Give me my twisteds.
Y'all act like I'm not locked in when it comes to my machines. I need my Icar dummies. I'm brokey. I'm a brokey. I'm a broke bad bitch.
I'm not afraid of scary ghosts pie. What does that mean? How about you give making it a try? I wanna be everyone's
I wonder what floor
guy.
I wonder what floor it starts where you can no longer extract, and when you fail at skill check you start like
Not sure.
I can't spoil it. I can't spoil it because there's people that haven't seen it, which I think is super.
I want to know what the new like max twisted for the like per floor count, like when it happens.
Eight.
Well, if you're like in the full lobby, like how many floors do you have to be?
For us, it was like floor like I want to say 15 or 17 that we got all the floors, like all the twisteds.
Okay.
Because at 20 we did have all of them.
Okay. My ping is a lot higher.
It is a very active time for a lot of people to be on the game, though.
Yeah. Flower, tore off all our petals, replaced them all with nettles. You want relief? I'm down and make me.
Try pinging now, because floor 6 is when Salem was able to.
I wonder if it's because...
middle click. It's middle, like your little mouse roll.
What the fuck?
Or
oh shit!
click.
God fucking damn it! We fucked up. Ooh, Icar Fleek. Wait, I want to see the new. Does it stack? Louis just took that band-aid, by the way. I just watched him do that.
Oh, did you go through the Icar yet?
Yeah.
Go through the Icar.
I watched.
Blood, I hope you... Don't worry, Dandy Run.
I'm gonna play in the Icar. I don't get the slowness anymore from being on top, but I get the Oh wait, there's Boxton.
Oh, someone died.
Can we not die immediately to Dandy? Please? Pretty please with a cherry on top? I wanted to play in the Icar. That's fuck. The fuck are you trying to do? Watch out, Bagel.
It's okay, I'm right here. I'm okay. I'm locked in.
Can everybody get the fuck away from me? Please?
Bye.
That was me.
Oh, bye.
My mouse turned me around when I was trying to do the stay away. Well, I got enough to make back the stuff that I lost for my band-aid. You earned 150k. 150k of what?
Mika.
Huh?
You got echo.
after 27 battles in the Z Royale, money. Like, it's Poké Dollars. It's Poké Dollars. Dandy's going after. Gigi keeps on taking Dandy. Bagel, 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 bagel. You might want to be careful.
They're not going to come to me. They're distracting Dandy.
They just stuck them all onto Sprout.
That's okay, I've survived
What
Dandy
the fuck
before.
is this Gigi on, though?
Val, you better get in here, bro.
Damn.
Thank you for locking in.
Can someone do the smart thinking sticker?
But how do I do the pin thing?
Do the pin? Do the pin
Do the
is yes.
ping, because it pings, like, weirdly. Everyone started doing it in the run that I was in. Because for me, I can't do it because I don't have a middle mouse. Unless I connect my mouse. And that's so much work because it's a Bluetooth mouse. It doesn't even have a mouse button. You have to do 2 fingers. So I would assume it's like the same for my trackpad, you know?
Also, Val just let me know that they are not letting them get, like, aggro tapes. But they messaged me on Discord, which I don't really look at like in streams.
Gotta lock in. Have it on the little side.
Alright. Let's go. We're probably gonna get ISO. But they're gonna be playing Pokemon Za between floors.
Ew, wait, it did go down. Ew, my Icar.
Oh wait, I didn't watch that. I didn't see that. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
Did they nerf it? I think they might have nerfed it.
Do it again, do it again, do it again.
No, it didn't go down this time.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe if it's under
know.
50%, like 50% completed, it goes down.
Well, it did it to Salem, like at the tippity top.
Huh.
Like, go back and check in my video. Go watch my TikTok real quick and go to my thing.
Hold up, I'm gonna look at the Blush Crunch server real quick to see if they have anything else.
Because they might have already updated it because the Twisteds. I haven't distracted though. Because, like, we were playing when the update really just came out. So they might have nerfed some things at, like, quickly. Because you know how they are. It's been a few hours, actually, since the update has happened.
Right.
Because they were probably on it already.
Someone's saying in the Blush Crunch server that it might be a bug.
What?
Like the machine draining it. Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool mechanic. I'm gonna be so for real. I kind of want that to happen. Because I think that would be a really cool mechanic, as in, like, when that happens, it kind of... Hi! Someone take Toodles from me! Thank you! Kindly! I do wish they keep that. I think they might have already updated the game, though, where they got rid of it.
Lizard. Glamorous lizard.
See, it went down for me a little bit. Just a little bit, though, not a lot.
ISO plays on a mid-end phone and says, I think you're lucky to have a PC.
Because, like, on my little TikTok, if you go watch it, it is there. You can see it. It's like,
Let me
you can see it.
onto TikTok real quick. Let me look. Do not jump on my computer, please. Okay, thank you. Let me... Okay, where is Bagel my ego? Bagel my ego, where are you?
2 machines are getting done. There's 1 missing.
Oh my god, Glisten's World Chapter 9 Part 2 came out. Oh my god, I missed this? How the hell? Oh my gosh, hold up.
What happened?
Glisten's World, the new episode is out.
I don't know what that is. Is that a Dandy's World AU?
Yes, it is.
Send me. I like new AUs.
Hold up. He's right behind me, isn't he?
No, thank you.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah, it does go down a little bit. I think they nerfed it. It probably was taking too much out of everyone's skill checks.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm sending this to the whole thing, like the playlist to Bagel real quick. Let me look at... I need to find Bagel's... This is taking forever. Oh my gosh. Let me look. Where's the pain? You said it was like floor 7?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, what the hell?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to reenact that. Because I don't know if it has to be a PlayStation person in the run. I don't know. Salem could probably show it off. Or maybe they already got rid of it. And it was an accidental bug or something. A consequences to action. Pebble!
Oh. Wait, I wonder if he's still tweaking.
No, he's not. He's fixed. He's definitely fixed. Trust me, I know, because I was distracting him earlier.
I miss Pebble when he was tweaking out.
Somebody back up. Get him, Sprout. Get him. Get him, Val. You got this. Don't worry. I'll extract.
Whoa.
But guys, we have reached peakness.
We just
because
shook
now
Pebble on Sprout.
Oh. Bye, Sprout. Sayonara. Can I extract? No, you're not allowed to extract. Do I have to distract as fuck-ass scraps with my ass ability along with emotes?
Damn.
Fine, I'll distract. Give them to me. Come on. Run away.
Can you not
Come
knock
on.
stuff over, please?
Why are you running like that, brother? Shit, Stop being, like, go kite a spot, brother. You gotta kite something.
He lost Pebble. Louis has lost the Pebble.
Oh my god.
Bye-bye, Louis.
What was that?
Okay, there.
It's the fact that Pebble froze there for a moment, though.
Damn.
You know what? I guess I'm gonna do machines.
Louis over.
I snake.
Louis is
They're
Joe
dead.
over. I don't know why
Sorry,
the fuck
guys,
I said Joe
you're
over.
dead. Not me, though, because I'm good. I logged in. I can distract. I can also extract. You know? Hey, Pebble, what's up, buddy?
Can you do the smart thinking one?
Don't worry, I can distract. Move out of my way, dumb bitch!
Damn, why'd you call them dumb bitch?
I can't help it. It's who I am. It's energy. It's core. It's coded. Ah, shit! I can't distract in these situations. It's like I should have been backup. I should have been goob. I should have been goob. I should have been a goob. Thanks, Spooky. Run! Run for the hilltops!
Oh shit. Oh shit, Suki. Suki, run! Suki,
It's
run!
okay, Suki. I'll hurry up. We'll get this floor done. It's
Suki,
we
run!
can. Run, Suki. Use that
Okay, there
medkit
we
you
go.
bought. Oh wait, you didn't buy a medkit? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
They
Sorry
used
for your
Blot
loss.
Jr.
Tee. Oh shit, Pebble's coming my way. Oh, never mind. He's not coming my way. I'm safe. Another day.
Just hurry
Peeble
up and do
wins.
that last
We win
machine.
these.
Do that last
Get
machine.
the elevator.
Run! Run,
Get the elevator,
Suki!
guys.
Run, Suki!
I'll run the elevator. Don't worry. I got this. I'm coming through.
Damn. It's just y'all that are live. I died.
Oh wait, here. 2 people on hearts.
What?
Okay, Sprout needs a heal. Don't worry, guys. We'll lock in.
GG.
I hear Astro. Glisten! Guys, I haven't seen Glisten's new thing. Apparently Glisten's broken.
Hey, Glisten's broken?
Yeah, Glisten's broken right now.
Wait, I'm curious now.
Something happened with Glisten, because apparently, he's acting like Pebble in a way.
What?
He's acting like Pebble when it was broken.
Oh, he's tweaking
and something
out?
else has happened. Yeah, he's tweaking out for some reason.
Hey, can you not? Come here.
I'm not gonna do that last machine, actually. I'm gonna wait. That's gonna be the final machine that we do.
Can you?
Guys, hey, Glisten. Glisten needs a little bit of a
That's
helping
not
hand. No, Glisten needs a little bit of a helping hand.
Gigi, pretty please, can you stop trying to eat whatever you're trying to eat? Which looks like it's a piece of paper. Can you try not to eat a piece of paper? Pretty please. Please and thank you.
If I fail skill check, I'm roasted.
Vintage
fish for
Sprouts
gamers.
lame in my opinion. Oh!
Real shit. Real shit.
Oh,
Real
Glisten
opinion.
is
That's a
tweaking
real
out.
opinion.
Oh my gosh. Glisten's just walking towards Suki. Glisten's broken. Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Don't finish that machine because Glisten is with Suki, and I don't know if Glisten's gonna freak the fuck out, but if you go, like, look over. He's just been walking like that this entire time.
That's what I'm saying, is he's a little bit of a bugged. Hey, Glisten bug. Hey. He's I wonder if he's gonna be like that when it pops. Guys, I think y'all should pop it. I want to see if he breaks. Pop the last machine. I want to see if he breaks.
Gigi. Please. Please, speed, I need this. Damn.
He's slowly moving, too.
He's very
He's
slowly moving. He's doing the Louis slide.
He's doing the Louis slide. No, he's not moving.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's not moving. Are you gonna get me, Glisten? I'll air horn for you. Are you gonna get me? Oh, no, you're not.
What the fuck is going on with Glisten?
Hey guys, get in the elevator. I'm on my way.
Oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening with Glisten? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Can y'all
You're welcome.
throw so I can play? Pretty
No,
please
we're
with a
locked in
cherry
now.
on top.
We're locked in. We're so locked
Pretty
in.
please with a cherry on top. I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
Okay, I'll throw for you. I'll throw. Trust me. Trust,
What
trust,
the
trust.
fuck are you doing?
Hey, Sprout. Hi, Sprout. New floor. Nah, shit. It's a Shelly floor. Fuck me, man. Only if we had a Brainy in this run. Did I already say it? Brainy would be kind of locked in.
Why are you trying to climb up the goddamn wall?
Why are you climbing up the damn
scratching
wall?
at the wall. Hold up. Okay, no, she got scared by the car that was driving by. Obviously. Do not kick my other monitor. Do not kick my other monitor, please. When I walk the equator, chasing the night, little do I know
Kill me,
what is
Tisha!
close behind. I might
Where's Sprout?
remember.
Where's Sprout? I need to die by Sprout's hands. No! Don't heal me, I'm leaving! Kill me!
Oh, he does this sound every time he does that.
No! Tisha killed me, I'm so mad!
Oh. Suki just witnessed a bloodbath.
Okay, private server, right? We're doing private server.
Yeah. I'll join off of you since private servers for me always break. Because I'm pretty sure my friends can
people
still
are gonna have to
join
add
me.
Then. Yeah, everyone should be able to join, even though.
Yeah, they should be able to join me.
Let me get in my private server then.
Alright. My baby don't play, or my baby don't mess around. Why is it stuck in my head?
But go back into my video and go look at the machine.
I
though.
saw.
You cannot tell me. Yeah, you saw. You watched the whole thing. That's
I didn't watch
crazy,
the full
though,
thing,
right?
though, but like I saw the pings.
Yeah, that's crazy. The whole machine basically went away.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have to have a certain skill check. Well,
Maybe.
It was happening to Scraps though too.
But it was happening to other people as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm being Goob, and
I think it is just a Goob. Or a what? A bug.
It wasn't just Goob. It happened to
I don't know why I said just a Goob though. I was supposed to say just a bug, not Goob. Where did Goob come from?
You know, Goob's just locked in. But it was happening to you know, Aura, so I mean, it was it was definitely a bug. I'm gonna just back up as Goob.
Let's hope that my mouse doesn't try to turn me around again.
I'm hoping.
Indy can't join.
Blinks, we won.
Oh,
then add
shit.
me. Come add me. Are you sure you're not able to?
Let me try. I'm gonna try.
I want you to try to go into your server.
Because usually,
that's like the best way.
Usually they don't work. Oh, my eyes! In the air of joy, in the air of joy.
Because my server should allow everyone. Because it was working last time, but I don't know how to change that. My thing, and nobody will help me because everyone's an asshole. Because I don't know how to change my who can join my private server.
Something's wrong with my Roblox.
Just in general?
My mouse isn't popping up on my other monitor. Which isn't letting me move around in Roblox.
Oh.
Just Val is invisible. What is going on? Just doesn't want to show him the thing. Okay, Roblox is breaking for me.
Just refresh. Just refresh it all, honestly.
Why is it breaking? Why is my whole thing breaking all of a sudden?
I will join my server and I'll just do the link. I'll just do the configure link thing.
Oh, what? Okay, let me try reopening this.
Oh, why is it not letting me copy this? There we go. Everyone should be able to join by doing that.
My eyes! Why is it white? Why is it white? Why the fuck is it white mode? Ugh! My fucking eyes! They took my eyes. Where the fuck
It
is
took my
Bagel?
eyes. I'm in my private server. I put a link in, so everyone should be able to join. If you're not able to join, I'll try to figure it out the best I can. Because I think that's just like a work way out round that I'm gonna have to figure out. Because I want to try to be able to let everyone join, but that's kind of hard to do. If
So I need to friend
things
ISO.
happen like that. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Try to join again. Oh, wow. Suki's able to join. ISO's just standing on top of a plant.
That's okay. They're more than welcome to.
We are waiting. Where's Just Val and Indecisive? Where are they? Where did they go? Discord broke for me again. The fuck is going on? I am the plant sprout. I stand on a plant, and for some reason I'm the messiah. It reminds me of last Christmas update. With like right before we got the whatchamacallit. Oh, Discord's not responding, by the way. Slay! We got the whatchamacallit. I made a I slightly made a tree cult. It was kind of funny because we were able to climb the tree a little bit. Like we went over here to the tree, and yeah. Like we were able to just like run and then do this at a certain way, and it like worked, and we were able to get up. We were able to get up a little bit. It was hilarious. I'm just waiting for Discord to start working on me again. Like, it doesn't want to work. I know, Bagel. It didn't. It's breaking. Everything's breaking for some reason. I don't know why. I need a new, like... I need a new PC, actually. I just need a straight-up gaming PC. I wish it was working again. Can my stuff please work? Please. Your Discord runs on 2.6. I saw, bro. Dude, it's my laptop. My laptop is being so fucking weird right now. It's not wanting to work anymore. Like I think it's starting to actually like crash completely. Are you here?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yay, I can hear you. Fuck you mean OBS has
Yay.
crashed. OBS is right
Pookie,
here. It's sitting right in front of me.
I think your thing just doesn't want to work out with you anymore.
What the fuck are you doing, Gigi? Gosh, oh my 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 gosh. Why is everything deciding to break right now? Hi, Gigi. Hi. Hi. Can y'all hear me?
I think you just
Everything's
need...
breaking.
I think what you need to do is really just, like, lock in. Man, it's like you bought a headset instead of a P...
Because I could use Afterpay with it.
I'm gonna bully you no matter what.
I
Yeah,
paid
but
it
Pookie
for
got
like
saved.
2 months. Over the span of 2 months instead of all at once.
Pookie, you gotta start saving. That's what I've been saying. You could have had a PC by now if you saved. Chat, raise your hand if you think Sid should start saving.
It's not a full run. You can actually join real quick. If you want to, you can join. You're able to join.
I'm making Brainy right now, dog. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm working on making a PNG for the new Brainy skin.
What about the ghoul?
I think it's really cute.
Or the scrap?
I will be making them here soon.
I don't know
I'm
why
just doing
everything...
Brainy right now because she's super cute. And I haven't made Brainy yet.
I don't know why everything decided to break, though.
It's just the time. It's just the time.
Abby, did you see the image if Bagel sent it? Wait, what Bagel? Wait, what image?
Oh, they mean of Startime Sprout.
Oh! The PNG tuber, yes!
Yeah, I originally made that because they always are Startime Sprout. So I was like, well, I like Startime Sprout. A lot of people use it. I might as well list it on my Ko-Fi as well.
Why are you messaging me on Discord, by the way? And not in chat? Just Val. They're messaging me in private DMs on Discord. And I'm like,
they don't like
why
me.
why aren't you just messaging in Twitch chat? It's so much easier there. I can read it there. Homie, I can actually read it on the Twitch chat. I can't read it if it's on DMs. I don't look at DMs while I'm streaming. I don't have enough monitors. Thank you, CoffeeBot! Oh my gosh, CoffeeBot. Anyways, is anybody else joining? Can you please? What are you doing? Oh my gosh. You were so good earlier. You were being so good earlier. I'm guessing this is all we have. What the fuck are you doing? Oh my gosh. Gigi. What is opening? Oh, she jumped on my Windows key. That's why. Are we ready?
I'm ready whenever everyone else is ready.
I'm ready.
Okie dokie.
I remember whenever I first joined, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, there was a way you could distract and go a lot faster if you went left and right like this.
Val! Leave.
Get back in. Are we joining matchmaking?
Oh, it's too late now.
GG. That's where my drink was. You're gonna have to move. You know that, right? Do not step on my keyboard, please. Please, Speed, I need this. My mama kind of homeless. I live with my dad. Can you not, like, put your butt directly on my arm, please? Please. Oh my gosh. Bagel, we are waiting for you. You want to play Dandy's World, but you're too lazy? Damn.
Why you
Damn.
don't want to play Dandy's World when there's a new update?
Yeah, there's a new update. Come along, dude, with me.
Goob is so movementy.
Ooh, yes, solar distracting. Oh my gosh. Hell yeah. No. Back your paw away from that, please. Okay, it's Connie.
And R&D free floor.
You hold up. Wow, there's a free floor. While there's a free floor, I am taking this cat and I am putting her on my bed. Why are you wet? What the fuck?
I don't want to fall asleep on my line.
Come here. Here. I'm gonna set this up for you. Just like this. It's gonna be nice and warm for you to lay on. You lay there. Lay
Maybe
down.
it was a glitch. That's kind of crazy, though.
Lay down. Come here. Come here, Gigi. Come on. You can do it. You can lay down. I love you, but holy shit, are you getting on my nerves? Lay down. Lay down.
It's over. Such a sweet time. Play for me, my friend. Guys, who's on last?
Yeah, who's on last? Are we all just up here?
Excuse you. What are you guys doing? Get to work.
You totally love your 500 plus. Down. I'm gonna start putting you down if you're gonna start causing chaos. If you're gonna start causing chaos like that, I'm going to put you down. I'm currently in a run. But yeah, solar distracting. This way. No. I have to put you down. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to be redirected. Who's on last? Gee, it's almost like you left the sprout on. Yeah, the sprout that's semi-AFK playing Pokemon Zaw. Alright. We got Roger. That's wild. That's actually wild. We got Yada. Where is Yada?
Oh, hey, guys. Oh.
Hey!
Wait, I'm over here.
Hey, my Twisted! Give me my Twisted. Give me my Twisted.
Oh, this is mine now.
Why didn't I get a sound?
Don't ask me. I don't
That
know.
was a very delayed sound. Okay, let's go over here. You can go around the opposite way so that we meet up twice. Just like that.
I'm going to open this. There's a med kit over here, by the way. At Gold Shrimpo.
Where?
Gold Shrimpo.
Can't fucking see. Can you do it again? Okay, I'm on my way. Damn, ISO took a ban. They can't heal themselves anyways. I just scared Suki. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Suki. I'm sorry, Suki. Something is fishy. I knew you would immediately run out because I have a habit of opening Roger.
Are you saying ability on cooldown? Panic mode.
Okay. Sweet. 200 ping? What the fuck? You'll have to pull Bobbette. There we go. Oh shit, Sprout's still out. I thought they were in the corner.
You can walk out. It's all good. You can walk in. You're a big boy.
They're gonna say something like, wow, Bagel, Obsidian, leaving me out to the wood, or like throwing me out to the wolves. The fuck?
Give me comfort for all my days.
Whoa! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, let me I'm gonna explore around. I'm gonna actually lose a heart real quick. Whoa.
This is 100% a Brusha like area because that's has the
Whoa.
So Goob and Scraps do have dialogue on this map.
Hey.
I didn't mean to take your Twisted, but I'm trying to find the Goob and Scraps room.
Damn.
Oh, Glisten, hey. He's walking in place again. You're fine, buddy.
This cat. That's hilarious. Guys, I'm distracting Glisten.
Okay. Take your damn poppy.
Gigi, please! Pretty please! Can you stop
the
it?
pain I spilled is still here.
Please! Oh my gosh.
Aww. Scraps is craft class. Oh. Louis Clowns has.
That's not a new
big
thing,
nose
by the way.
grows one. That's crazy.
He's
this is
walking.
So cute.
Let's let him pop. Actually, let's let him pop. This part reminds me of the Easter floor, actually.
The artwork that has the Barney
bread. It's bread. It's bread fate and beans. It's bread fate and beans.
I'm actually exploring. Sorry guys, you're doing the machines by yourself this floor.
Wow, though. Oh my gosh, the first view of outside. This is honestly really cool. Wow.
That's actually really cool, that one room. Oh my god.
You were hating on this. You were hating on this floor, by the way.
I wasn't even hating on it. The fuck you mean?
You said he looked ugly.
Yeah, Dandy.
Yeah, you said Dandy looked ugly. This is honestly, exactly. I like this floor.
The fuck you want me to say? He's not ugly.
This is such a cool floor. Oh my gosh, guys. Hey, you took Poppy. Well, you can keep her. Oh, this is hilarious.
I'm distracting Glisten.
Glisten's okay. Have a nice day, night, whatever time it is for you, Beans. This is so cool, though. I love this floor.
I would like to state how bland the picture they gave us was.
It didn't show anything. Bobbette.
It's too late. They're okay. I didn't see them.
This is that was such a cool floor. I love that. I love that so much. Spare a flower some tapes, will ya? Polite doing business, Wait, Bread, Salem's not here. God forget I can look at pictures. Yeah, Salem's not here. I have Bagel with me though. I need to wait, Bagel, can you take over real quick?
No.
Okay, well you're not gonna get a little like the little thing that shows that like I'm with you.
I'm going
Damn,
to.
I can't believe you're not gonna help me out here.
Oh yeah, I didn't even. Oh, hi Tisha. There you are. I found you. Where's my other twisted Tegan?
Yeah.
We're gonna go over here. In the middle.
There we go. It should be updated correctly. That was honestly, I like that floor. I wonder if they're gonna add the regular floors to the, whatchamacallits. Okay. Got him.
Excuse you, you said you wanted me to distract, so I'm distracting.
I said temporarily. Well, I didn't say temporarily,
Nope,
but I meant temporarily. Give me my
This floor, you said this floor! This floor!
Oh my gosh, it's the two Twisteds that are really pretty.
You know what? Fuck you, eat shit.
It's Tegan! Oh my gosh, it's Tegan. I also like Tisha too. Tisha's awesome. We are not even, hold up. You look terrifying. So the healer isn't just the healer? Ooh, Suki took a tape. Ooh. Ooh. Damn, not the public call out. Bagel. Gulp.
Yeah, no, I took so many tapes so far. I don't see them running around grabbing tapes.
Because ISO's like, why am I extracting? I'm the healer.
Exactly.
ISO, you gotta go around.
Stop extracting.
not the liar pants on fire. That's funny. That's funny. Damn, I'm not even gonna get a pull.
Oh yeah,
gosh,
we need medical attention.
Gambling.
I know, guys, we need medical attention. The fuck you mean?
Oh my gosh, gambling.
No, guys, we need medical attention.
Let's see what I get.
Why did you click that option?
I gotta pop. You play survivalist, not exiting. Extracting.
It's the fact that we're on floor 5. This is so... We have such ass extractors, dude. Oh my god. Hey.
It's Brescia. Come here.
Hey, it's Roger. Oh, shit! I wasn't thinking!
There's a band-aid over there. The table's empty. I think they wanna play hide and seek, tag, or some other festive game.
I saw it. I knew it. I wasn't thinking.
Machine. Do the machine. There we go. Bagel did the machine. Table's empty. I think they wanna play hide and seek, tag, or some other festive game.
I don't care what
So where's the shout out Salem? Can we get a shout out for Salem Cat 271?
Yeah, this isn't my stream, dog. The fuck you mean?
You're a mod. You can shout out people. Table's empty. I think they wanna play hide and seek, tag, or some other festive game. Have the Christmas roast, make it all worthwhile. Okay, stretch. I will stretch in the elevator. Da, 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 da. That was Roger. That was Roger. You might want to, yeah. Route. Okay, stretch. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna stand up and then stretch.
Bread_Fate just redeemed stretch.
Ow!
Bread_Fate just redeemed hydrate.
Ow! I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but I just like popped my back. Oh my gosh. Oh. And hydrate? Okay. I'm actually gonna drink from the boba tea that I got. It's basically all done. Wow, that is just a blob of
Silly friend
tapioca.
Puck just redeemed duck.
There's no GG cam. Woo! There is not a GG cam, sadly. It's R&D. There's also a medkit at Broken, by the way. And a machine right here. Ready or not, here I come. The table's empty. You... Great, now I have to change my distracting rhythm. We should have a duck placed on your PNG. That means that I'll probably have to photograph each one of my ducks, though. But yeah, the duck redeem only works for when GG Cam is there. I have it to where it is. It says it. It says it. Bagel, what are you Bagel, what are you doing? What was that? Who keeps running an R&D? I don't like not listening to music. Also, who's gonna take the med kit?
You.
I have a band and a med.
You.
I don't need this.
You.
I don't need this.
Fine, I'll go fucking grab it. Oh my gosh. Jesus.
Okay. Oh, well, probably too late.
Oh, that help me. I'm out of stamina now. Let's get in.
Here we go.
I'm trying to pull you. I didn't get to pull you.
Suki messed
it's
up.
'cause I
Ah
was
ha
on
ha ha
straps.
ha ha ha. Suki messed up.
Oh.
Laughs. Indy ordered 5 double Big Macs and didn't share. What? No, I... I'm not that fat. That's me. That's me. Literally me. I'm not that fat. We're going... There's a Band-Aid over there. Oh my gosh, Dandy. Dandy Costanza. Garbage. Where's my other Twisted? Oh, it's Blot. Being Bobette is like a mom of 4. You got this, sweetie. You got this. Go get him. The table's empty. I think they want to play hide and seek, tag, or some other festive game. Hi, Sprout. Bye, Sprout. Sprout, as in Isosceles. Wait, not isosceles triangle. Isosceles. Yep. That's how you do it. That's how you say it. It's totally not isosceles. It's isosceles now. Yippee. Nothing beat you, motherfucker. You just straight up decided to run right through. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, you want the aggro tape, so I'll start bringing them. I'll start bringing them. Sorry, I wasn't bringing them before. Oh my gosh, Dandicus, Dandicus, what the fuck? You got your band back anyways. Yeah, you did. The table's empty. So we got hot chocolate. We got Neapolitan ice cream. We got nothing else that's, well, we got a moldy strawberry.
Another band.
Oh my gosh, Dandicus, what the fuck? Oh my gosh,
Val,
it's
get
glizzy.
it. Get the band.
It's
get the
glizzy.
band, Val.
Oh yeah, Bubbit. Just Val. Get the band. Get the band. I'm gonna run. Run. Bagel, go carry them, okay? You got this, you're the goat. Oh my gosh. Brad, you play Danny's World, right?
Yeah, Bread's my go.
Brad, do you want to join the next run? Give me my Twisted. There you.
That's my Twisted, actually. Fuck you. Eat shit.
What's my Twisted?
Employee of the month, Samuel.
I need someone. Lizzie, you are stuck walking in place. I don't know, I never heard of Dandy's World. I need a TTS. I need a TTS spot.
Another band?
Oh my god. 2 bands on this floor? Useless. A stealth candy. Now I can be... Snake bomb. $10? You... Nobody is doing this. Okay, wait, no, never mind. ISO's doing it. We are definitely getting... Oh, we're definitely getting Pebble later. But...
He is slowly moving, though. He is slowly moving.
He's just very, very, very slowly moving. At the point where if you get hit by him, it is your fault. Fuck you mean or worse? What do you mean or worse? Please no. That's it! I can't take it!
Come on, Glisten, I got you. I'll distract Glisten, guys. He can hit me. He can hit me. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
he can definitely hit you.
Don't worry, I got this. I'll distract him. Hey, are we like twins or something? We look like twins.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
They're aggro!
Oh my bad.
They're aggro tapes! Bagel, they're aggro
I
tapes!
was trying to pull you!
Bagel!
I was trying to pull you!
Bagel!
Why'd you get in their way? You're supposed to go in either the right or the left way, so someone can pull you. I think ISO's a minor. No.
No,
Who said
ISO.
that? Which Val?
ISO said step on it, lazy bones.
No, actually,
they were
I
doing the last
have
machine.
terrible extraction, dude. What the fuck you want me to do?
ISO said
Distract?
Bagel, I will
Crazy work.
I will
Raz and
spam
Daz is the
Thunderbolts.
twisted of the day, FYI. Thank you. I'll take them.
Okay.
I got this.
Yeah.
I think you gotta look for Tisha first.
Yada and Tisha. Where the fuck are you going?
The fuck you mean? I'm goated like that, you know?
Bro,
It's like I have good ping or something.
can I have my twisted, please?
Hey, take
Thank
your
you.
twisted.
Yeah, I kept trying to go after you for a second there. Sigh.
She likes
How
me
do
more
you
than you,
get,
that's how it
how
is.
do you get a TTS bot anyways? Or not bot, but like, for like your chat?
By going to TTS.
That's very
Twitch
helpful.
TTS, and then you go put in the Google Twitch TTS, and then what you do is you click the one that has a frog on it and test it, and then if you like it, you have to put your username in it, and it reads it out to you. Or you can do the notepad thing. I do the TTS one because it does, the one I have is because it lets me turn down the volume of it.
Okay. Get closer to the Ellie, please. Thank you. There we go. Lemonade. I'm actually going to switch this thing out for this. It just looks like the people who are locked just have like a massive amount of dots.
Mm-hmm.
So it just looks like they're just like judging you. You gotta go shower.
It sucks I can't see their username though.
Right. Or at least the message.
I'd rather. Oh, hi Pebble. Hey Pebble. I got you.
My god, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, there's a band-aid right here, by the way. Also, Just Val has to go... Wait, hold up. Do you think I'd be able to...
Excuse me. Hello.
Come on. You gotta get over here. I'm gonna go back here. There's
This
also a
crap's
bottle of
my
pop over
one
here.
cannot, Can they
Ooh,
get
Louie,
off the machine?
Louie, get over
I
here.
have no stamina. Oh my gosh.
There's a bottle of pop. There's a bottle of pop over in that hallway over there. Let me take. How the fuck did you just hit me?
Where's that?
Watch out, ISO. It's in like the... Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! No, please don't. Motherfucker.
I was gonna V-mode the machine that was right there that the scraps is on. I don't
This
know
was the last... This was the worst machine. That was the worst...
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, I am gonna... Hold up. Motherfucker.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I am lagging. Hey.
Thank you.
I'm logged in.
I'm just gonna... I am also
Here, I
lagging.
can jungle kite. I can jungle kite. You might want to move though, because I'm going to try to get my... Never mind, I got this. Oh, a band. I'll
Ooh,
take that actually.
shit. Oh, nobody's on this machine.
Can you get Yada off me?
Yeah.
You need Yada off me, you dumb bitch Yada. I need a heal, by the way, FYI.
Sprout might be on cooldown. but panic mode
Well,
warning.
then I'm dead.
I think.
I can't, I don't have speedy shoes on, and I'm freaking, yeah, no, I got no stam, I'm dead.
Shit.
I was trying to lose line of sight, but I also don't have speedy shoes, so I couldn't get far enough away from him to be able to kite him properly.
I'm lagging. Why does Indy like what? Why does Indy want to lick you? Thank you, Government. Dude, I need a fucking lock-in. I hear Sprout? Oh no, Astro.
I'm gonna
Ugh,
get off. I'm
fucking
not really
child.
talkative.
Aw.
And also, I'm just gonna do some art and then hop on VR chat because I don't want. See, I don't want to join in super duper early, because if I join in super early, then I'm going to be forced to stay there all the whole time. Because Lola wants to do stuff after
who
karaoke. But
Who just died and who did you die to?
I'm gonna.
Did ISO just die?
I'll probably rejoin later. But I'll see you later.
See you later, Bagel. You went AFK to swap your earbuds out? Oh my gosh. Yeah, why is my ping at fucking 200, basically? Don't worry, I got you, Suki. I got you. Who's the other Twisted, though? Oh, shit. Shit. I'm not that way. Suki, try to lead them kind of back where you were. Oh, Tisha. Got her. I need my music. I think that's why I haven't been locked in. I didn't have my music. Sigh. It's so lonely. Sigh. Sigh. Lonely. I am so lonely. I have nobody. Wait, are you one of the... Hold up. Suki, do you want to restart? Okay. Come here, Suki. Suki. Suki, where are you? Suki. Hello? Get griefed. Get griefed. Get griefed. Get griefed. Alright. ISO. Go into the, like, one of the VCs real quick so I can drag you in. And while you're doing that, I am going to... one of the VCs in my server, by the way. While you do that, I'm going to work on getting Spotify back up so I can listen to my damn music. Okay, there's ISO. Let me grab... Bap. Hello!
You sound like my honey. That was not the right voice. It sounded. What does my Sprout PNG appear on your stream?
Yes, it does.
Hello to the chatters. I'm the Markiplier, and I'm also the Sprout. Partakes in most of these roles.
Spotify is saying "Let Me In" by CG5 with the Will Wood normal album cover. Oh, it. I
Okay,
literally
that's a crazy thing.
sigh. I went to go.
Oh, shit.
Don't
I'm
talk
in the
to me,
public lobby.
slut.
That's not good.
Oh.
Oh boy. I don't want to do another
Cosmo!
public run.
Cosmo! Oh my gosh, it's Cosmo, guys! It's Cosmo!
Oh boy.
It's
Not good. I don't want to do
Cosmo!
a I don't think you want to suffer another public run, don't you, Obi? I don't want to suffer brain dead teammates.
Did you see, like, the one that I
Especially
did
since I'm-
whenever I was, like, when I had no sleep?
Ugh, yep. I've been in public
The
runs
one where I
before,
genuinely
so I know
crashed
how
out
agony.
over another Louis taking the Twisteds?
I did see that one before I went to sleep.
Dude, I literally, like, fully crashed out, and I think I scared, like, one of the new people away that had just followed and, like, joined one of the runs. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Because I was on no
It's very
sleep.
rare. So you're sleep deprived, which means
I
get
was
some
very
more fucking
sleep-
sleep.
Well, I pulled an all-nighter, and I was streaming all night, basically.
You stinker. You need to sleep. All nighter is bad for your health.
I know. I only did one, like, in, like, the past
all-nighters.
year. And then afterwards, I fell asleep
I've
till,
done
like,
both.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, Jesus. I get up at 11 every morning.
I fell
I'm
asleep
way
at
too
9 and then woke back up at 5. Also, I am in a private server. Suki!
Thank God, I don't.
Suki!
I don't want to fucking start. I don't want to crush. Also, I apologize to your viewers if I swear a lot. That's just how I was raised.
Oh, my viewers already know that, like, they're already used to me swearing a lot. Every time I join one of Cheese's
Yeah,
calls,
but
I have
when
to,
you're-
like, I have to tone myself down a lot because
Basically-
I swear a lot.
You're basically trying to filter because you can't be as no filter as some places.
Just as long as you don't say anything like racist or homophobic or like
Oh no, I'm not gonna be
you
saying
know.
anything. You're just probably gonna hear me swearing a bunch of f-bombs or angrily swearing in French
Motherfucker!
if I get pissed off enough. Moment you try to stick this symbol on top of that. Just an example of me angrily swearing in French. Not I'm not actually pissy. I'm just playing.
I think we're missing Indecisive and Cosmo. Do you want to join? Cosmo, you should totally join. I think Cosmo was also there when I had that crash out. Oh, ad.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get a
Ad.
notification
This is
that
why
there was...
I like you. This is why I use you block Origin on my PC when I'm watching Twitch streams. No ads, no
Damn.
problem.
Damn.
I think it's also on mobile too, so you can prevent ads for Twitch mobile. Excuse me.
Damn. They might meet me. They took our girls
So
away
yeah,
from
so
home.
to those who don't know me, who I am, I'm the one known as Pizzo, also known as Izzo. I'm just a guy who plays variety games.
It's Izzo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it.
It's not ISO.
Yep, it's Izzo. Because I'm French, that's how I pronounce it. my Frenchness like that. And also, I probably hear one of your chatters saying, "Ew, he's French" or some shit like that.
Oh. Oh my gosh. So Discord isn't wanting to do the thing that it's supposed to do. Oh my gosh. Did Discord just freeze or something?
I'm joking around with my French
I
nature.
listen to a lot of true crime.
So I'm the plants. I'm also the plant sprout too. I stand on plant.
Cosmo!
Specifically the
Cosmo,
one in-
Cosmo, Cosmo! Cosmo! Cosmic!
Cosmo, you should join this
You
run
should
now.
join! Also, Indecisive! Get your ass back over here!
Join or I will stand on a plant in your room.
How the fuck did you get up there so fast?
What do you mean? It's really easy to clip up here.
Did you clip up there with Sprout?
Yep. You can do it as pretty much any character for this specific plant.
Oh.
It's that
That
freaking easy.
is really easy. That is really easy. Indy's ordering
And for
more
some
big.
reason, people...
How many Big Macs is Indy gonna have? Your bet is a fucking rock? Awesome.
So, that is a queso ass order.
They already had 5.
Bro, Indecisive being queso right now?
Indy, you gotta send a photo in media of your Big Macs.
Is India 1x1 Lego piece?
Huh?
Okay, good thing you didn't hear what I just said. It's a
Oh
queso
my
joke. It's a queso joke.
God! Just Val has 31,000 Icar. I have 154. You don't even know where Indy went. She just muted and deafened
234.
herself. Damn. That's wild.
I
That's
can-
wild. Text them. Be like, send a photo of all your Big Macs. Just in a row, like all my ducks.
Also, since we're waiting on people, I'm going to describe what my team is on Legends ZA real quickly.
Sure.
So for my ace, we got Sparkster the Empress. She is built to have her Mega Evolution, and she's built as a special attacker and speedster for comp play. Next, we got my starter, the Feraligatr, also known as the Crocster, based on the Quickster from SpongeBob. He would be my defensive wall. Not very good in special defense, but he will. Then we got my shiny Phalanx, whose actual name is Lunk. He's built around defense and attack, with the occasional special attack. Then we have Zygarde, just a legendary Pokemon, nothing special. My Delphox, who has no name yet. And one more Pokemon I'm not going to special. What?
You didn't see what I just did
He's
did
brutally
you?
honest.
Hold up, let me do
Did
it
you
again.
fling yourself somehow? And then we have redacted Pokemon I'm gatekeeping because this is a post-game spoiler Pokemon.
Wait,
The final member of my team is a post-game spoiler. I'm gatekeeping that last Pokemon.
you should probably look at me.
What the fuck did you
Suki, come here.
Excuse me. Stop trying to pitch up my voice, otherwise I'm gonna cause my throat to go out.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Wait, for some reason I think it might just be the fact that when I fucking hate winter, but I always think that time moves faster than it actually does. I thought it was already 11 o'clock by now.
Oh my gosh. What have I done?
Wait up for Jenny's World runs and
What have I
fun
done?
fact, I actually don't have Goob.
You don't have Goob? Wait, I wonder.
I picked specific
Wait, I'm gonna become Goob.
to
I'm gonna become
survive.
Goob.
Oh my god, that looks
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
That looks hurt. You flipped
Aw.
it right back up.
I'm back. Sad times.
Oh, did they nerf main? Okay, I'm reading the patch notes here that you got from the Discord server. So we've seen the art floor.
I haven't seen the aquatic
Did
floor
they
yet.
nerf something about? Did they nerf something about the game?
They made it to where you can't have double mains, or double twisteds anymore. Let's see.
That's borderline.
Oh my
That's what
God!
made the later floor so fun. That's what made the later floor so fun, is having a V and Pebble Nightmare combo.
Oh my gosh! I disappeared! I disappeared when I did it as
And now for
Pebble.
my next magic trick, I disappear.
And now for my next trick. That didn't fucking work. It doesn't work with coal, guys.
And
It
for my
doesn't.
next trick, I float over a piece of coal.
You seen?
Bro, stop being Piccolo. I'm Aura farming right now. That's thanks to the cape on the
Finn has a dialogue on the aquatic floor.
Now,
Also-
what? Okay.
Aquatic is spelled
Finn, though.
AQUATIC.
So my actual, I have 19 of the teams right now, so I have
AQUATIC.
Astro, Bastion, Box-
I realized I was
I
like,
have
that doesn't
Astro,
sound right.
all the Easter tunes, Boxton, Brightney, Russia, Cosmo, Finn, Pebs, Poppy, R&D, Roger, Shelly, who's my newest tune, Trimpo, my main goat Sprout,
Oh.
Tisha, and
I
Goose.
decided to take a nap.
Oh god, we have old. He's not Gerson Boom though. Old. Bang,
Wait, when I
bang,
did
bang.
it as Eggson, he just laid down.
Old
Whoa.
fat ass egg. Time to get to bed. Wait, you're not Eggman. Whoops.
Okay, let's see if it happens again, guys.
Oh!
I took a fall. I broke my leg. I broke my hip. Let's go ahead and go. Do you
like
want to
your
do a
plan?
matchmaking? Do you want to do matchmaking? Oh, there's Cosmo. Do you want to do a matchmaking run to see if we get any good ones? If I
No,
distract.
I don't want AIDS from teammates. From braindead teammates.
You don't want what?
I think coming for. I'm gonna say this bluntly without my filter. I don't want AIDS from braindead teammates.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sometimes very blunt without my filter, and I mean it. Everything I say sometimes.
I mean,
That is the
it
that is the
can't
power
get
of
that
ADHD.
bad. It can't be that bad.
Ugh,
Let's
some
just
of the
try
ones
it.
I've on were absolutely abhorrent.
Let's just try it. Oh wait, Cosmo's busy.
Oh my. Why would you join if you're busy?
I think it's because I told them to
I'm just
join.
being I think I'm being slightly overdramatic right now. I apologize for that. Yes, my Canadian specialty, apologizing for the most mildly inconvenient things. Come on. There's a very tiny scene where it lets me float, which requires really fucking precise
Gigi just face
on my part.
plants. It
You're
seems
not a
like
Metroid.
Louis is like the only one that actually like seems to try to stay. If he fucking does
Like,
it.
are you like flipping up underneath the plant? Is what you're doing?
Oh my gosh, Sprout does that too.
Fun.
And then you just change to another
I think-
tune.
Alright, I'll try Pebble actually. Hold on, if I can actually wedge myself underneath the plant. Hold on. Wait.
An obsidian.
How do I have to be? How wedged do I have to be in order to?
Sprout doesn't seem, for the record,
Like,
Sprout
we're, like-
doesn't seem to
Hold on.
do it as well.
Hold on.
Sylvester does it
I'm
really
slightly
easily.
I'm on an angle right now. Alright, Pebble.
You haven't even been
annoying.
awake for 15 minutes. Damn.
What the? Why am I in an angle? Is this like the correct angle to change tunes?
You have to be more. Do you have Sylvester?
Nope. An angle. I think.
Because I think
Never
it's
mind.
either this angle or you have to run it.
I think I clipped it into the plant.
You have to do it this way, and then you can change.
Hold on. I know spread angle like that. I just did a really.
Oh,
disgusting
Tisha can
spread
do
angle.
it. Tisha can do it.
I have Tisha though. Okay, so it's that angle. Hold on. See if I can maybe do it a sprout. Come on, Sprouty boy, you can do it.
Doesn't
Nope,
seem
I'm
like
just
I can get the right angle.
wait,
Let me try
am I-
spin. I think I've seen people
Hold
do
on,
it as
come
spin,
on,
maybe.
Thruster, you can get this.
The hell?
Hold on, I want to try something stupid. You're up, Shelly. See if she can do this. See if she can even clip on. I didn't even clip on top of the plant. Can she do this? Hold on.
Gravity.
Wait a second. Now let's see what happens. Sprout.
Okay.
Oh, so I need to go
What about
more slanted upwards.
Glizzy?
Right, Sprout into Pebble. Yep.
I think the only one that can
Pebble do
really.
it?
Let's try Eclipse. Who else can get like the weird
I don't have any
angle?
Halloween.
Damn, did you just not play during Halloween?
This is true game. This is actual game. This is gameplay. Trying to clip up a plant and see who can flip on their back.
I think Cosmo really likes Eclipse.
You know what? I'm gonna try something really stupid here. Maybe a starter tune get up. What the? What is this?
That's the angle. That's the angle.
Poppy can do it. You just saw me do it as Poppy. You can do it as Poppy. All right, let's go for the bald box now. Box in.
Oh,
It works as can Boxton do it too? Okay, he can do it too. You clearly got the angle correctly. Correct.
oh.
Okay, so Sylvester,
Jeez.
Poppy, Boxton.
Hi, Cheese. How are you doing today? We're
flipping out on boxes. That's a hello cheese. This is the Sprout who plays every freaking game with these buggers. Come on, Box. Am I not getting the correct? Is it only
A Slizzard. A Slizzard.
Hold on. All right, let's try the twins out. Come on, RND.
How else?
Oh,
How?
I need to get-
Wait, I want to try. Wait, what about
I
Flutter?
don't think-
I think Flutter used to do it before
I'll
she was
try.
optimized because she could fly
Wait,
and it
sorry.
kind of freaked out.
What the fuck? Flight? What are you doing, bruh? This-
Oh.
What are you doing?
It
Flight?
works with it works with Flutter. It works with Flutter.
Hold on, I might not be getting the right angle. It's please. How is this?
What about Gordy? Since
Come
Gordy's
on,
hitbox is
Flight,
a
you
lot
can do it.
smaller. Oh, there's Just Val. There's
Come
Just
on,
Val.
Flight.
Oh, wait. I got
Get
in
up there.
angle.
Wait, who just joined? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Just Val.
5. Oh. We're just look. My plant I stand on has
What
very
about
broken
Shelly?
physics. Roger, you're up. Your turn. Wahyo. I tried Shelly. Well, that's the incorrect angle.
We're just trying to break this game. We are literally just trying to break the game.
Is this considered like I'm using your unit
Oh.
for just doing this?
Oh,
for shits and
oh.
giggles?
Oh, Scraps. Scraps can. Go.
Flight.
Pebble do a flip, and then
Alright,
Pebble just
Cocoa.
falls. Used to Connie
Alright, let's
used to
try
be able
Cocoa
to
now.
do it.
See if Connie can. Oh! I
I
got
would attempt to
something.
boot up White Knuckle and let you goober off.
Oh, come on, Betsy. You didn't flip over.
You thought he said Charlie Kirk from that tiny glitch gulp? What? How? How the fuck did you hear that?
Get the. What the fuck are you? What the hell is this angle? Hold on.
Oh, you can probably do it with
Oh,
this
God, I'm
one.
stuck
You can
now.
probably do it with this one. Change, 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 change.
I got.
Oh.
I know I successfully got stuck though.
Hi, Stone. Stone, do you want to
Oh,
join
God.
us?
Hey, we can maybe invite some more people to this call. I don't have 2 people.
A lot of the others are minors, and so, yeah.
Okay. Gotta love being an adult in a world full of friggin' kiddos. It's painful. I hate it. I hate being an adult.
We just-
I'm being brutally honest. I hate being an adult. Also, yes, all my mains are pretty much star timed. Favorite being Scrut, obviously.
You used to be
Maybe
able to
except
get
Pebble.
onto
Pebble.
here. I know you. Okay, yeah, Stone can. Stone's joined. We have 6 people. Yippee! It's Stone,
actually
guys.
other-
Look, it's Stone.
That's a stone, Luigi. You
Stone
didn't
also
make it.
messed up their thing, so they literally cannot chat.
In garbage AI verification that no one likes.
You can't play for
Everyone
long.
tried blaming Slep over.
Guys, are y'all ready? Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm ready. Hold on,
Meet
let me
me
just
at
fix this Sprout.
the
I'm actually
Shellevator.
right now. Let me just get the cartoon out. I don't know you guys' I don't know you Dandy World's fans' lingo.
Shellevator. Shelly Elevator.
Like yeah. If you're talking to me in something like Call of Duty
Hey,
lingo,
there's
then yeah, I
2,
understand.
3, 4, 5,
like,
6.
enemy in my
Get in,
AO.
get in, get in!
We're not joining matchmaking. I don't want AIDS. Plus, matchmaking doesn't even work in a private server.
I'm pretty sure it does.
It don't send you
They're both
anywhere.
in,
Vigo
but,
tried
like-
it, and we just got.
They both got the
I don't
glitch
know.
where it doesn't show that they're in. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that glitch is really freaking common.
Yeah, it does work in match. It does work.
Well, matchmaking does work in private servers. It just doesn't send you to other players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep,
I'm,
we got everybody.
I'm not it. I'm a true believer of staying,
I can finally
Without-
get both a medkit
wasting stuff.
and a band-aid.
Oh yeah, I secretly stole a medkit last round.
Are we not gonna?
Why,
Are we
God.
not gonna? Solar just fell.
Taioken. You said solar, so I thought you meant solar flare. Taioken.
For the
Clear my
dandy.
voice before I destroy my. The only thing I buy as sprouts is bandages, maybe the occasional smoke bomb, if it's really dire.
Cosmo fears not having 5-star
probably-
stealth. You have 3-star stealth. I have 2-star stealth. You'll be fine.
Yes, but I'm talking about when there's no distractor and I'm the one alone.
You just gotta make
Yes,
sure
my
that
stealth is
you're
completely-
not getting too close to them. So I don't die that easily. Poppy and Boxton. Literally
I tell
the
you,
2
I'm usually
starters.
I'm usually last one standing. Oh, there. Speaking of Twisted, thank God I know immediately to
I'm
down
actually
this
gonna-
button if I see a Twisted. It's floor 1.
All
Who the hell
machines
just got
by
hit?
Ellie. It was me. I needed to get my... I needed to
Hey,
do my ability. Damn.
It's having to start crashing out because someone already got
Poppy.
hit on the first flipping floor. Oh my God! All stuns lead to rate. Poppy's on me actually. She was
Where
chasing
are
the
you?
profile.
Get over here.
Near the I think it's the
How
4th
the
elevator.
fuck? That...
Okay, thank God. I thought I would have the Goku Prowler stare.
They weren't even close
you
to
doing?
me.
But thank you. Yoink. Thank you, Rassi. I need these tapes. I don't know. You can do it. Oh, my poor honey. Oh my God. So my girlfriend just
Thank you,
sent
Gopher
me weather for my location, and she basically said, "I don't know how you can deal with this. I'm Canadian, honey. I've dealt with it for the last 20 years of my life." Because fun fact for most of the people here, I'm an October baby. I'm spooky year round.
Spooky month.
Yep, spooky. Actually, spooky month is goddamn peak.
Oh.
Also, Lunar, what?
Oh my god. What the fuck, Dandy? Save check. I'm not.
Silly friend Quick just redeemed save check.
I'm not drawing right now.
Yeah. I actually really hate the cold.
I'm not
I'm
drawing
actually
right
very
now.
sensitive to the cold.
That's whenever I'm drawing. Save check is when I'm drawing.
Safe what now? Okay, can I demote a machine at least? I know I'm supposed to. Sometimes I do extract to help out the extractors, but I mainly just survive because I feel like it.
Thank you, Stone. Yoink. Wow.
Demoted. Over here. Over here! Just like Luigi would say.
Ooh,
This is
thank
probably
you.
something Bassie could carry. Bassie, you want to carry this? There you go. Good. Every time I think with every time I see the over here sticker, it reminds me of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon when you would tap the screen and Luigi would say over here.
Over here.
Yeah, that sticker specifically. I'm not sure if any of you guys have played Luigi's Mansion 2.
Wee. 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 Don't forget your aggro tapes this time. Are you ready? Are you ready to get your aggro? Oh wait, Discord's broke. Discord! I'm howling at the moon. And sleeping in the middle of a summer afternoon. Discord, what the fuck are you doing? Discord. Okay, it's should.
Anyone there?
I'm here. My laptop is just crying. Ugh.
Well, it's probably because you're running OBS. Oh, okay. I didn't get a chance to. Once it's 4 and above, I should be
There's
able to have a
movie?
chance to at least emote one machine. Probably have to quiet down here. It sounds like my dad's about to sleep.
Whoa.
Oh,
Why are you distressed, Suki?
I'm not sure if someone's on. I'm not sure if I'm on last machine, but I'm on a machine right now. You see who else is in Obi?
I have absolutely no clue.
Yep. Also, Tango's on your 6th. Watch your back and try not to lag too much. Oh god damn it! I missed a skill check. That's embarrassing. I missed a skill check. I missed up a skill check.
No. Tango's on what?
That's Call of Duty lingo. That means enemies on your back.
Yeah, I'm distracting. I'm being a distractor.
Yeah, I basically go full Call of Duty if there's someone in call with me and we're playing DC's World, I'm gonna be going full Call of Duty callouts. I was raised on Call of Duty, especially the zombies mode. God, I fucking love Peak.
Oh.
What the fuck was that glitch?
It's the oh my gosh, there's a band-aid.
Okay, do you mind if I sacrifice a heal for a band-aid?
Band-aids are 60, heals are 100. Take the band-aid.
Yeah, and I have 111 tapes. I'm asking first. Because yes, as
God
much as I like to
forbid
heal
me
my
being
allies,
me
I'm
from
alive.
being normal, and I'm gonna keep it that way. You're gonna use over here to tell you I'm holding
God
tapes
forbid-
for you. Oh, for Stone.
God
So
forbid.
Stone is. Hey, get your ass over here, Toodles. Stone is
Baby,
grabbing
angry baby.
items for you so that they can give it to you, and then
Chew
you
them
can
down. Yeah,
go
like what
nom.
I've been doing normally during Biggle runs. I find useless crap and I chew it down. 3 tapes, it's Chromer for me. And yes, I play Deltarune, so I'm Undertale nerd too.
Stone, I want to
I mean
keep
it.
this
I
inventory
mean it
slot
when I'm playing
open.
a lot of I have 1 or 2 in slot. Let me grab that. I usually have 2 band-aids in my inventory, then I have 1 to eat items. Thank you, Stone.
Makeup is running
It's
down.
it's
Feelings
it's
are
an
all
existence
around.
living with
How
ADHD
did I
and
get
autism
here?
together.
I need to know.
Oh, thank you.
Things I didn't thought of limitations. Thought I'd get to
I'm hoping
them, but no, I didn't.
I'm stuttering like crazy because of my nervousness of being on a stream again. It's been a while since I've been on one of these streams. It's not especially since it's not with my group of adult friends who are in their 30s.
Oh damn.
Yes, I know people that well they're chill though. Those are Kokoa, Soshi, just to name off a couple of them.
Yeah,
Er,
I get it, honestly.
How many Obi, I think you want to come and check over my Stone. Look what medkit is that. Brother,
What?
live spread reaction to how many medkits Stone has.
Yeah,
They have 3 of them.
yeah.
And that's not ridiculous enough.
Okay, Suki is auto-walking, so they'll be fine when we pop the last. Any progress
Yep.
on the
Anyways,
last, by
pop
the
them.
way?
I'm at the elevator right now. Also,
Is anyone on the
I'm probably
last?
gonna go look around for some tapes though. If no one's on the last Ellie, I'll go. If no one's not the last Ellie, the last machine, I'll do it for some extra. Okay, I found it.
I'm sitting here,
No
crying
progress
in
on
my
it though.
prom dress. The prom queen of crying was a contest. Makeup is running down, feelings are all around. How did I get here? I need to know. I guess I maybe had a couple expectations. Did I get to
Brett
them?
actually good extractor,
no,
or is he
I
just trash at
didn't.
extracting?
So he's kind of decent, but he does have 2-star skill check.
Yeah, that's probably why I failed my skill check. Other than me not paying attention.
Yeah, he's
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
ADHD, for that.
He's kind of a little bit of everything, because he's got decent movement
trades.
speed, really good stamina, and
he
then
has
his
good movement
extracting.
speed.
Yeah, he's got yeah.
good speed, decent stealth, amazing stamina. I think the only thing bad about him is his actual extraction. You know, like his 3-star. Is it 2-star
I'm
extraction
not
speed or 3-star
sure.
extraction speed?
Okay, I've got your aggro
he has
tapes.
15 stars because of the main. Yep, let me get those
There you
aggro tapes. Watch out for that angry zombie crawler, baby.
Whoa, active mod. Ooh, it shows the. Whoa, okay. You're gonna be bright.
Wait, also, what is the sound that's when Sprite? What is the sound that Sprout makes whenever he speaks in dialogue? What is that? I always wonder what that sound is.
I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, Glizzy!
It sounds like a
Ooh,
brush.
and the art floor. Oh my gosh, it's Glizzy. Glizzy.
I could make a dark joke here, but
the
I don't
glitchy
think I'm gonna do
Glizzy. Diane, do me to.
For your adult viewers, I'm also a dark human
No,
joiner, but I'm probably not gonna use that type of humor around here. I swear, if
Oh
I find
my
another idea, I'm gonna crash
gosh!
out.
There's a Barnaby painting! Oh my gosh! These
Alan,
little
where the hell
paintings
are?
are so adorable.
All right, I'm gonna go near
Oh.
Glisten. I want those aggro tapes. Oh, I hear. Ooh, Gumballs. Hey, Gumball, I'm meeting your entire family. Gumball
Oh
will be like,
my
what the what?
gosh. I love these.
I hope I'm
I'm
providing
exploring,
some
by the way.
interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The
Try not to get too distracted.
Dandicus dancing for Lisa. Oh my
Mean
gosh.
bald flower. Mean bald flower.
Oh, Flutter. God damn. You just have your little medkit area. Oh wow.
I think I'm gonna crash out with how many medkits there
Rush's
are. That is a
Gallery.
lot of fucking medkit.
Yeah, Glisten's been glitched out. Glisten got glitched out during this.
Not when he's running.
Oh.
I think I've seen you get smacked. Thank you.
Oh no, 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 no,
Looks
no,
like
he
goes
runs in
on.
place. He kind of runs in place. He barely moves.
No, I think last run he was actually. I think he hit you last run.
No.
While
No,
running.
it's because Bagel got too close to him when he was running. AKA he hit them.
Promise would say, don't get cocky. I already
See?
got the aggro tape from him.
See? Guys, I'm distracting Glisten.
I already got the aggro tape from him. Useful. Bro, what
Yeah,
the
did
hell
you-
is the elevator placement on this map? The only thing I'm gonna complain about this map is the elevator placement. That is horrible.
Did you
That's
not
my only
see?
gripe. Otherwise,
Did you
it's a
not see
beautiful
though?
map. Yeah, this map's beautiful. I will
No,
agree.
did you
This
not
map
see
is
Glisten?
friggin' Beautiful.
Did you not see Glisten when he was aggro?
Yes, I saw him running in place. I saw him while he was running in place. I was passing, but I was doing a drive-by pass. I guess my favorite thing to do is drive-by punch Colossus in Sonic.exe Eclipse. Hey, Colossus! Guess what? Chicken butt, get punched, bitch. I actually have my
Tell me
girlfriend
what
to
you're
thank
trying to
for sparking
hide.
for
What you
reigniting
running
the
from
spark for
inside?
Pokemon with me.
'Cause I
No,
got a
you
surprise.
this machine.
You might not make it to the morning.
God forbid
So go
bro
on
can't
and
use
tell
his
me now.
emote.
Do you have enough love in your heart? Go and get your hands dirty. It isn't that much,
See?
but it's a
How
good
does a-
start.
How does a six stack cook more than a friggin' whole public team? That's my question. Let me print
It just
look
mainly
that up a little bit.
depends. Because sometimes, like,
All right.
my highest floor is because, like, it's from a public team.
What floor is it, by the way?
38.
30 or 38?
38.
Damn,
Also,
I'm
last
10
is over
floors
here
under.
at Broken, by the way. Oh, Suki, you go get it.
I have an air horn.
You
so I'm
got
gonna
this,
pop it.
Suki.
I'm just
You
gonna
got this,
warn you I have an
Suki.
air horn. I'm popping it.
Yo,
Warning you about the air horn. I'm gonna pop it right away.
you're not by me.
Yeah, but I still think it's a good idea to warn your teammates because I know some people don't listen. Not saying anyone here, I'm just it's experience from public runs. When I see it, I said once I was using an air horn, it goes Pebble, and a dumbass teammate of mine decided to walk near me and get hit. And I took the Twisteds.
I got like
So
a
that's why
major
warnings
speed
can-
boost from Tisha.
You're zooming. Can you beat Pepino in speed though?
Do you not want
Mr.
your aggro
Spaghetti.
tapes?
I have like 2. Yeah, I
Okay.
probably actually do want my aggro.
Yeah.
God damn it. That was a miss. That was a miss. That was bad movement.
You got him.
You don't need spare change. I don't want to be chump change like it's Mario Party 8. Mario Party, but I forced Bagel to play Sonic Robo Blast 2. I might actually force some of you guys to do that because Sonic Robo Blast 2 is actually genuinely one of my favorite games. We'll warn you, default
Ooh, you're
control
having a lot of
really sucks in
lag.
World Sonic Robo Blast.
Yikes. Oh, brushes over
I-
here.
Who's lagging?
Just Val.
Who's lagging? Because I'll defend them. I got shields ready. I have 251 tapes at the moment.
Right behind you, right behind you. Got him.
I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, is there one more machine I can at least pop my V-mode on? Thank you. Is there at least one machine I can V-mode for 10 tapes? God damn it, there's no machines. Hopefully they'll don't pop the third machine before I find a V-mode machine. Okay, I found a machine.
Quick,
Popped
hurry.
it.
There we
V-mode
go.
ready. I'm on last. And I already failed the skill check. Of course it's an Undertale yellow machine. Makes me want to do a genocide route in real life. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Damn. Also, just Val,
Thomas?
you decided to go AFK like at the worst point last run. We had Pebble.
That's what we call it. That's what we call Call of Duty timing. I fucking hate these machines.
Me,
I'm going to Thunder
or
Punch
you.
Pebble in the. I'm going to Thunder Punch
One of
Candy
us
for
is
inventing
going
machines,
to
or maybe Thunder Punch
need
Arthur in the
to
face.
die
The Delilah was getting the Broly Goomba Stomp treatment.
if I
These damn machines.
taste you. Will we know
I don't think your chat has any idea what I'm rambling on about.
taste? I honestly don't know either. Aggro tapes.
I just ramble sometimes. Oh, yep,
Or not.
hold on. Hello? Okay, just a little bit of lag there. I actually suffered just a slight spike of lag. Hold on, I'm gonna waste this pop because Stone gave me this pop. I need to waste it. 3 heals prepped. All locked and loaded. What the hell are you waiting for, Soshi? Just reading a couple of my friends' statuses on Discord. I have my DMs open.
Open wide.
Yoink.
One of
By the way,
us
does the
is-
Basky bone trick still work? Despite it being nerfed?
It does, but it maxes out at 40 speed. Oh shit, scraps!
How fast?
I got it.
Shit. You good? Okay.
You go ahead and do machines. You do machines, just Val. Hold up. I need to get her to pull.
Yeah. Thank you, Stone. I need those tapes.
Just stay away from me. Stay
And
away from me.
especially important, I have a shitload of tapes in order to
7,
actually heal
8,
everybody.
9, 10,
Oh, please do not
11,
mention those accursed numbers.
12, 2, 3, 4,
Alright.
5,
I'm guessing following
6,
Grassy
7,
until
8,
well, occasionally
9,
doing the machine or two.
10,
Maybe find my own items.
11, 12. She's gonna pull. Okay, 2, 3,
Oh, I almost saw.
4,
Thanks to Stone collecting
5,
stuff, I can
6,
probably say,
7, 8,
I can probably just
9,
do this right next to your.
10,
11.
12.
Can Scraps hurt me from inside? Can Scraps hurt me?
Can you
From
get
inside
to
the
the
elevator
alley?
if I
Get to the alley.
Yeah. I'm already right on your tail. I'm actually gonna
Yeah.
stay out so Tisha here.
Yeah,
Grab
if you
Tisha from the aggro tapes.
yeah, when
Our
you're
ally Tisha.
when I have one of the grabbers, please do not get into the circle. That's going to mess me up, and you probably will get hacked. Like, you will get hit.
I think I actually have distracted Goob and Scraps before. That
Baba
was
extracts
late.
Ollie fast for a 2-star skill, or 2-star extractor. Hi, Tisha. Ooh, I
So
will
what-
be taking that.
So what is my actual extract?
Fucker!
As Scrap here.
Ooh, yada.
Hold on, I'm just grabbing the machine real quickly.
You could
like
probably
actually 2-star
see
extraction speed?
on your. You can probably see on your stats. Whoa,
Extraction speed 0.85.
that's a lot of.
How many stars is 0.85 extraction speed?
Not sure.
That's pretty damn close to 1 though. Maybe not point.
So
Hopeless
my
Pursuit. At least it's not
modifiers.
Hopeless Pursuit on Ultra Custom Night Deluxe, where you have to basically pull up the laptop,
Damn, I got a
punch
lot
a
of
stick in the
modifiers.
face, pull it down, put on the mask, kick
I
somebody in
like
the
how it
balls.
shows what modifiers you've got as well.
Well, I
2
run
pops, a protein bar,
thought-
and you're not even running.
I'm extracting because sometimes I think the extractors need help. Because some of them are slow, after all.
Got
I wonder if Stone
That's-
is still holding those 3 medkits.
they dump them at the Ellie, because they trust us, because we are not going to take the medkits from them, because Stone is holding our heals, basically. So I've got plus 25%, then that's 45, 55, that would be 55 plus 25
Give me stamina.
would be 76.
Oh my God.
Plus
Okay, I got-
50.
What the Okay, who is Glitch Duo? Because I see they have 3 Iker space inventory slots. What the hell is that?
Hold up. So normally my modifier is plus...
Oh yeah, okay, my only active
That's
modifier is
50.
actually walk speed 10%, dog plush.
Yeah, my walk speed and run... Like, my wait, actually, that's just walk speed and run speed. My walk speed is plus 30%. And then my run speed is plus 20%. And then with Bobette, there's an extra...
Also,
I'm trying to do math.
extra like 5-10%, right? Okay,
Huh?
so I won't be able to eat any items because I have a jumper cable. I actually was running around and I picked up a jumper cable, so I need
I see
to do
Baxton.
that. Let me
Come here,
go quickly
Baxton.
find a machine. Shit.
Oh.
He's on me.
Over
Wait,
here, take him to
why am I
me. Over
sprinting?
here.
I can literally walk him.
Yep.
Why do I need to run? I can literally walk him. I have dog plush. That
It's only culture. There's a band-aid over here. It's only cold.
Bassy, oh, Bobette can have that. I already have 2 band-aids. I need 1 slot open so I can eat items or have a flashbang ready.
Then you're
in case it gets
afraid.
dire.
Come on, drink that blood. Didn't they want your blood? So don't apologize when you turn blue and gold. Blood. Didn't they want your blood?
Legend Z is
So
the
don't
newest Pokemon game
apologize
as
when
of
you
now.
turn blue and gold.
Fun fact, Legend Z actually dropped 1 day before my 20th birthday.
Ah.
My 20th birthday is actually I think it's the middle days of October. October, which is the 15th, 16th, and 17th, which it's the final one of those. Then I got another friggin' jumper cable. Is the last machine open? Because I need to jumper cable that stupid machine so I can go pick up the stuff Stone left me down.
I have no clue.
Of course, it's that type of machine.
Just
To the
ask.
surprise of Ned, I say, who
Just ask.
I don't like asking. Cosmo can finish their machine. I'll do it next floor. Sorry, Stone, I got a jumper cable. You're gonna have to store that. Holy shit, they're moving fast. Who's faster, Bobette or a Max Aggro Dial?
Max aggro dial.
Can Dial beat Goku though?
I have no clue.
Yes, I'm doing that. Unless Guile has some sort of reality bending that's above multiversal, he's not beating Goku, sadly. Because Goku literally punched Beerus in Battle of Gods and nearly
Okay,
destroyed
who's
the
here? I
entire
see
universe.
Tegan. I got Tegan. I see Yada over there.
Wait, I'm gonna. Okay, there's a treadmill machine. I actually like these treadmill machines. For characters like Sprout, it makes it easier to extract. Plus, I think
wait.
Dog Push actually helps you with extracting.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, scraps. Away, away, back away, back away. Everybody get away.
Do I have the stay away sticker? No, I have this sticker though.
Three,
Is that someone who got
4,
hit, or is that just
5,
Pebble? Was that,
6,
or is that?
7, 8,
Yep,
9,
I already got the
10,
chunk item that
11,
someone probably had.
12, 2,
Jump, jump.
3,
Thank you,
4,
Stone.
5, 6,
I think,
7,
what is this?
8,
What are you doing,
9,
Stone? You're leaving like a
10,
trail like it's
11,
Hansel and Gretel.
12,
42,
2.
38.
Stop!
65.
Stop it!
I'm going. It's a bit I saw in the annoying orange. Where he
Run.
counts to throw off his hair. Jesus, how many heals do you need?
I will be taking that.
Alright, I'll grab the bandage.
No!
Oh, no, never mind.
You got me
I
hit,
got
dude!
Grab your bandage. Hold on, turn off my sprint so I can actually restore my stamina. Oh, come on! I want to buy a flash bomb. A flash bomb. Yes, I call smoke bombs flashbangs. They basically are. They basically do the same fucking thing. So why not call them that?
Just a little toy forever. You have 3 now? Oh wow.
3 what?
La, la, locked away. Heals. La la locked away. Locked away.
I'll probably have 2 heals and
Hi Sprout.
escape item like that.
Yoink
I
that.
think for the main
Oof.
question. Oh hi
Okay.
me. It's me. But it's
Shrimpo.
evil.
I'll be grabbing you.
It's my
and
evil
box.
cousin. No, wait,
And
you're
Toodles.
distracting
Oh my gosh, we have
evil
4.
You're distracting my. You're distracting my evil doppelganger cousin. Obsidian.
Can I have a heal?
From me or
From you.
yes, come over.
Thank you.
On cooldown for another.
Keep
90
this
seconds,
area
so please don't freaking
clear.
try. Getting, don't leave myself in the meat. That sounds weird.
Okay. Can you bring Toodles over to me, please and thank you? Thank
I don't
you.
have Toodles on me.
I'm talking about Bobbette.
Oops. Bobbette slash Brassy. What's up? Oh crap! I got jumper cables again. Let me just go quickly run for a second, pop these, and go consume more.
5, 6, 7, 8,
Do I have?
9,
I have 87.
ten,
No, I have 487 tapes.
2,
Was that 87?
4, 5, 6,
Okay,
7,
I got a machine.
8, 9,
Someone can
10,
finish that machine there. So
2,
you only need the jumper
3,
cable.
4,
I'll check
5,
the tendrils.
6, 7,
I probably
8,
can just walk right by you, right?
10. Hold up. 2, 3, 4,
I'm waiting for this
5,
tendril to disappear
6,
so I can walk by
7,
safely.
8,
Come on,
9,
Stoner.
oh, 2.
I think I said their name wrong. Where are they?
Thank you,
I
Gumball.
don't think it's that. No. Where's the golden shrimpo? Oh, over there.
I'm losing
On the right.
count.
Shit, I just realized I drained all my stamina. Running over here. Babette, mind if I ask for a stamina refill, Babette?
The last machines are almost done. Just stand still
Probably
for
can
a
just
little
stand
bit.
here pretty
Yeah.
safely.
Not in the circle. Not in the circle. You might want to get to the alley.
No, I'm just grabbing that. I'm just grabbing that capsule for extra Iker. Is that how you pronounce it? Icor or Iker?
Iker.
That sounds like Ick, not Ike. Not like the Smash Bros character. Smashy Bros! Why is Bobette glowing?
Because she got a speed
Oh wait,
boost.
that's my heal passive. Oopsie. You're in my range, Crazy Diamond. You're in my range. Cosmo, it's that's another bit I've seen. I'm already at the elevator. I will heal others, but I also need to preserve my own life so I don't die. Try and heal you guys. Not bad, floor 12. How much time we got here? 9:54. Okay. Fun fact, for like Obsidian,
Yeah.
my girlfriend is actually older than I am by a year and a half.
Huh.
I'm actually the younger of the two of us.
Okay. Sounds like Sprout is
It's almost
galloping.
been 3 years.
Did it do the glitch where it's like a double, like, the double sounds?
Electrician? Is that what we're going with your chat? Electrician?
Yeah, they all know that their distractor cannot see in the dark.
What, so you're basically a bat who's blind. Without echolocation. I don't know, I'm just being stupid.
Boxton.
No, well, that's bad luck.
That really is.
I could make
Luckily,
a
I
joke
don't
about
hear
the flow of
any-
calamity here, because I think it is a...
There is a medkit over
No, we
here,
got
by the way,
Cosmo.
on the 2 benches where the picnic is. Or almost 2, I don't know how to explain it.
I'm probably just gonna
If you
follow
spot a
Stone.
Cosmo, if
So
you
they can
spot
leave me.
Cosmo, Boxton, whatever Twisteds there are, bring them. Oh my God, it's Toodles.
I'm just
Bring them
following
to
Stone right
center.
now, since
Center.
since they're leading me to the items. I'm just following Stone right now, since they're leading me to the items.
Yeah, but if y'all get
Okay,
a
they just
Twisted,
demoted.
lead them to center, where I am.
Go
Is-
up that. Maybe
I
I
got
have that
Brusha.
since
Okay,
yeah,
Bobbet's
I could
got
probably
some.
help you guys out since my passive lets me see you guys through walls.
Turn around.
I just realized I can guide myself using the passive, my overprotective
Oh,
passive.
where are you going?
Still
Where are you going?
Still following Bobette.
Where are you going?
Machine.
I was in the middle. Homie, I was in the middle.
Hello. I have survived long by myself. Yeah, I did a 420 solo run as just Sprout to get Basty actually.
I don't like doing solo runs.
It's still
They
ridiculous how many
take
heals you have.
they take so long.
Alright, I'm gonna go help out the others by leading them with my passive. I know the one on 2 is you because you split the broken heart. I see Bobette over there. I think Cosmo's over here.
I don't think anybody else is hurt.
No, I can actually use my passive well in the dark. I also use Pebble's passive in the dark to guide me. I leave a couple of capsules to make sure I can guide myself.
There are some Gumbles by me.
I have like 500 plus taste already. I've got 5 heals
Okay.
packed. I think I think me and Beagle were duoing. I had like 1,000 takes at one point. That's how little I buy from Dandy. Specifically when I'm Sprout, at least. I don't think I can really play any other tune besides
Shit, I just walked
Sprout
right into
or
that
Ginger.
wall. Fuck. Help.
Time machine.
I don't want to use
Hold on,
my
before you pop that
band.
machine, Cosmo, I'm gonna go check for the last machine.
I'm gonna pop the band.
Okay, I see the golden Trimpo at Stone.
Okay, thanks
That's a
Stone.
Stone Luigi, you didn't make it.
Thank you, Stone.
Grabbing that capsule. But where is the lost machine? Tell everyone to get to the elevator. I'm staying behind since I want those aggro tapes.
Sorry guys, your distractor had to lock in. Thank you for standing by that, by the way. I can't fucking see. I keep trying to walk right into it when I can't.
Yeah. Also make sure... I think actually wearing Star Time skins in the dark is actually an advantage for your teammates, since you'll be able to see them better. Also, I see last machine. I'm on last.
That doesn't really change the lighting.
It's not the lighting. It's the actual skin itself. Not the little light bubble around you. I mean, your teammates see your actual person in the dark. It'll be easier to see them than something with vintage skin. Plus, it's easier to recognize a Star Time skin in the dark than it is a normal toon or a darker colored toon, like a vintage skin. Or I think maybe Connie's purple ghost skin, for example, is also pretty dark. Because purple and black mesh in pretty well together. About to pop the last machine, so get to the elevator, Bobette. As if I could stop feeling the skill checks. Come on, so you can do this better. Alright. Get your butt over, Bobette. Alright, I'm right here, Obsidian.
Where are you
I'm
going?
on right side.
Yeah, where are you going?
Wait, not the right way. Blind. That's a blind map moment. I'm on the right side. Right, just past you. Perfect. 606 tapes. Ooh, smoke bomb. That's actually pretty good. Or as I call it, throw in flash grenade.
I'm gonna quickly, while we are in intermission, trying to plug my phone in because my phone is at, there we go, 2%.
Excuse me.
My phone was at 2%.
How much is my Switch at? 94% for my Switch. Also, did you see the new Tamagotchi Life? Nintendo
The what?
Direct?
What?
The new Tamagotchi Life game on the Nintendo Direct.
No, I don't keep up with that. What
I'm
the
also
fuck?
asking the chatters that too. Oh, hi. Shit. Almost got hit because of... Ow.
Bring her over here, bring her over here.
Fine.
Bring them over to
I
mid.
have myself on me too.
Bring them over to
Hold on.
mid.
I'm gonna have to do a lip. Yep, you wanna say there's a tendril, I'm gonna have to avoid that real quickly. Watch out, there's tendrils.
Okay, got him.
Passing by. I accidentally got hit by I did not mean to take that box of chocolate. I apologize.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that.
I'm gonna dump the entire box of chocolate. I have more than enough freaking stamina.
Why would you waste it?
Because I have like 200 plus stamina?
Yeah, why would you
Plus, I know
waste
how
the
to spend
box,
that.
just in case?
So if I'm gonna have the slowness effect, in Water Temple in Minecraft, where I'm gonna have the constant mining fatigue for 5 minutes straight because I'm an Elder Guardian. They really did buff Ichor League Floor. This is pain. Luckily, the slowness effect doesn't really affect me too badly because of my walk speed increase. I am usually walking anyways, unless it's something like V or Pebble, then I will start sprinting.
If we get V or Pebble, could one of y'all take the commons?
I could probably take the commons. I have Dog Push for that reason.
Okay, so I've got 2 backups then.
Yeah, that's why I run dog plus Vmote. Vmote because I like popping. Are you? Oh my god, what are you doing? Yep, yoink. Alright.
Watch out, watch out, watch out!
I'm buying a band-aid.
Bobbette! Bobbette!
Shit.
Oh my gosh! They need a heal, they need a
No
heal.
heals? Shit. Oh wait, I think they had a band on them. Scratch that, they had a band
Okay.
on them.
Okay.
I just stepped in Night Core. Alan, I'm so fucked at Night Core. Alright, let's go. Stone. I'll stay out here because I want them. I think I already got the aggro tapes from Poppy
Yeah.
and Sprout because they were chasing me. But the other 2, I'm gonna need their aggro tapes. I think that is Yada and you got them here now. I don't know why you need aggro
Ooh,
tapes.
fuck
Suppression, suppression. I wonder how many
If you
suppression
find
cards
out what's
stack.
going on. There's only 2. It's either 1 or 2.
So 10%.
At this point, I'm gonna like. Ooh, art rooms again. Oh, Sprout again.
Ooh, nice. People are right here again.
Something's going on. Something's going on. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up.
Alright, I'll take. Someone we're gonna have to take for a bit.
Okay,
Something's
that's
up
plugged
with,
in.
Obsidian.
What the fuck is going on? GG, I'm sorry. Suki just said Peb.
We don't have.
I don't
Pebble.
hear Pebble.
Hold on, Babette. Let me take. Hold on, Babette. Let me take. No, wait, we have Pebble. Shit, I almost got someone hit by accident.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just heard Pebble.
Let me grab Pebble.
We do have Pebble. Alright, I'm gonna grab Sprout in the commons. I can distract.
Oh, you got Pebble, you got Pebble,
Wait.
you got Pebble.
Alan, I am not doing. Gonna do the Zoidberg. Come on, come. He's off of me. I got healed in case you decide that in case you get hit by accident. I already have Pebble and Sprout's aggros. I think Louis too, because.
Bobette, go to the other way.
Oh,
Go
hello.
the other way. Like, go the opposite way.
Yep, I'm.
No, 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 no.
I'm distracting myself.
Bobette, Bobette, no, 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 no.
Distracting myself.
Go opposite way.
Do not come.
So that
oh,
we
wait,
hit
shit,
each other
this is the
twice.
elevator. Cosmo, go the other direction. Cosmo, go the other direction.
Heal, heal, heal.
I'm distracting myself. Wait, you need heal? Okay, shit.
I need a heal.
I'm gonna have to get off myself. Shit. That's a double shit.
Just give him to me. Give him to me.
Ooh.
Thank you.
I got the common. Keep yourself hidden for another 90 seconds. Watch out, Exen.
Bobette, I need you again. I need you again.
Wait a second, wait. Don't use one of your heals.
Come here.
Die, because I'm on a
Thank you.
77-second cooldown. Stall up for a little bit, because I got 6 seconds so I can heal somebody again.
Go to Ellie. Go to Ellie. Just go. Run, run, run.
Making sure everyone else
Run
gets out first
to
before
Ellie.
Me and you. Someone is still there. Shit, Pebble.
It's
There's
okay.
someone with 1 heart there, man. Okay. I'm luckily I'm unharmed, so I don't. Okay. I mentioned the Sprout. I don't think I don't want to do that. I think I'm actually gonna keep my tapes. I do have a spare band on me in case I do get hit.
Okay, if we get Pebble again on that floor, I can take them. just make Bobette, you just gotta go like the other way around while I'm going across, like around the dandy. Ooh, V, finally, my time to shine. With
B. Someone please heal yourself. I don't
Fuck.
see one heart like that. Alright, okay. B,
I'm
Storm's
gonna try to
healed. You're
jungle.
fine. Right. I'll be there as backup for heals in case you get hit.
Just watch out.
And so will Stone.
I gotta be on 1.
Stone will still be here too. Wait, you're on 1?
I have to be at 1.
Shoot. Alright. Then I'll be extremely careful.
No, 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 no.
If you feel like you're gonna die, just tell me. I'm right here to heal. Oh, it's Pebble
you.
and V. It's a nightmare combo.
Yeah, it's not the best, but just do the machines.
I thought you said nightmare combos couldn't happen anymore.
Where are you going? Bobette, where are you going? No, 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 no. Stay over here. Go opposite. Go opposite.
You need heal? You need a heal to take a hit to get away?
No, I just need them to go opposite. So I can get that speed on both sides.
Yep. By the way, I'm doing the machine over here so you can
Yeah, I know.
distract more efficiently. Alright, you go away with your stupid ass ads. Hold on, I'm gonna pop these 2 sodas so I can get some more tapes. Get to the alley. God, having a spare band would be a second spare band would be nice right now. We'll have to wait until another floor. I will keep grabbing tapes though so I can keep you guys alive despite me having a friggin' 100 bajillion second cooldown.
Whenever the Ellie, when I get to the Ellie, heal me. I'm not taking them here. I'm not taking them to Ellie.
Yep,
Oh shit, Tegan was here?
yep.
Heal. Thank you. Okay,
Pop it. You want me to go and grab Bobette?
just go.
Alright, staying out just in case.
Okay, if Stone might
good?
have a med kit for them. Either that or we could do this.
Gambling! How many gambling cards?
Holy
Going down the beach
shit!
towards the
I have not done that in a while. Twice in a row.
Ass. I got a speed candy. But
Holy
that's free tape for me, I
fuck.
guess.
Sprout floor, might be blackout. Oh, V.
Alan, we are so
How the
fucked.
fuck did I predict that? And Astro. Where did V go? Where does V? Where is V? Where is V?
Not on me, not on me. We got Finn too. God
Okay.
damn it.
Take V to Ellie.
What's my bed? Okay, thank God. Shut my door.
Thank you.
Okay. Just making sure nobody's on me. Who's on? Okay, on me. That's weird.
If take all Twisted to Ellie, actually. Just straight up take him to the elevator. To good Ellie.
I can't friggin' Eggson, please move. I got Twisted on me. I can't see shit right now. Because the Roblox lighting is being the Roblox lighting.
Yeah, if you spot
I'm coming up
if
with,
you get spotted by a Twisted, just take him to Ellie.
Poppy.
And Brightney.
Coming up with Brightney and Twisted. Coming up
Okay,
with
I've got
Brightney and Poppy.
4. We should have 5.
You want me to heal Bobette? She's hurt.
Yes. Thank you.
Take this, Bobette.
Because I have 2 medkits, they don't have any.
For my fellow allies, watch out, Finn's on the floor. So I got slowed down when I popped the emote.
I need to
You
get
got hurt.
Fins
Where's that?
still. If you have a Twisted, take them to Ellie, please.
I can't see. Howlin, play my game so we can see. What the heck, Sushi?
I think Bobette need. Well, I think they need a heal
Ooh.
just to have on them as a just in case.
There's our look. There's Finn. He just hit us. Well, my friend Sushi was asking me a question. No, don't apologize. It was my recklessness for not paying attention.
Okay. I should have. Yeah, I've got all of them.
I'm on one of the machines now. Wait, I just realized I didn't heal myself. Crap. I have no spare bands on me anymore. I don't know anymore, Soshi. Some people just get banned for the most weird reasons.
You know, I got a stealth candy from the gamble.
I'm on last but
Okay. Do you have to get to the elevator sticker?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if you're on last.
To me, should I buy this?
Bacon bit! Bacon bit! Bacon bit! Hello! Hello there!
Yeah. I'm trying to focus.
I was rusty! I got rusty!
Why are you asking? Oh my god. Oshi, why are you asking me to do this? Why am I doing things work?
Who's asking you?
It's just one of my friends.
Oh, I thought you were
I
asking, like...
can't speak about on stream.
Oh, never mind.
It's something
Never
I
mind.
can't speak about on stream. So,
Never mind, I thought you were talking about one of the
so I'm going to,
players.
No. It's just it's something unrelated to the game, and it's something I can't
Can't
even
see
say on
shit.
stream, unless I get smited.
Okay. There we go. There we go. Hey, and my music started playing. Oh my gosh, a medkit.
Oh my god, that's insulting to me. Should I buy a medkit? I have
No.
I have 5 healed already.
I wouldn't say to buy a medkit. This soul is gonna be scooted back a little bit so that I have a little bit more
just
hand room.
strictly bandages and
There we go.
smoke bombs and
But it's Bacon Bit. Oh my gosh, hi, hello there. You got 2 heals. You're just gonna waste your instructions. All right. Okay. Roger's here. Beware of every single thing. I am going to quickly use my stealth candy. Roger, Connie. So all I gotta do. Oop, there's Roger. Toodles. Thank you. Okay.
it's all over for me.
Got them.
Wait, I just got what I thought for.
What?
You get a little bit of a break. There's one less twisted to deal with.
2 less.
Connie's on the floor.
And Roger.
Did this game decide to the flow calamity decide to give us a break?
It might be a foreshadowing. Yeah, I'm known for kind of opening Roger capsules.
The simple trick is to not mash.
Oh, I opened them on purpose. I'll see it and then I'll open it.
Thank you.
Oh, Connie is out of that machine now. Say stuff is way too long. Go away. Who had you was? Oh, yes, you would. I think you opened Roger. Catastro feeling good. As it the drag. As you are. As in the bag that you drag behind your car. Yeah, honestly, I'd say this team, like, is pretty goated. This is usually one of my goated... y'all are my goated players. Cause we play oh. Cause we play
What
all
the
the
hell
time. Like
happened?
we played all the I don't know. I honestly I have no clue. Let's just not question it. I have no clue what happened. Let's pack up all their piety and redecorate. And this tower will be powerful with pearlier gates. Pew! This land.
Gamble? Gamble or are we doing stamina? I think I'm out.
Oh, I accidentally pressed the button on the side of my mouth. My name is Michelle, 'cause I'm Michelle. Okay, Finn's here, by the way. Boxin,
Jesus,
R&D, Poppy, Shrimpo,
Thank you, Sassy.
Brusha.
Jeez.
So that
I've been
means
paying attention.
that's 4, that's 5. So we still have
10?
5.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, we have 6! Okay, so this is the old max. Floor 19, old max, 6 players.
Alright. Dandy, I hope the Flow of Calamity tells Dandy to give us bandages.
Cash cow.
Okay, that's a prime machine, I suppose.
I'll be your burn victim hypothermic so damn hot. Bread!
Okay, that's
Bread,
a next,
we're
that's a
still
next break. That's a next break.
playing. Bread, we are still playing in the run. Oh my gosh. I locked in. I got rusty because I hadn't
That's
played for
mobile.
like almost a month. Like I genuinely like was like not playing for like a while. And so I got pretty rusty at distracting, and then we had Pebble twice in a row in this run.
Thank you, Stone.
Like we this oh my gosh.
I'm definitely going to grab that smoke bomb over there. I have no heals on me, so that having that on me would actually be great.
What the fuck?
as an
No!
emergency.
What?
Oh god. Alan, we are so fucked. Wait, never mind. All we have to do. Okay, chat. Since we lost our extractor, we flip into survivalist mode. For the way to survive.
Roblox fucking
got that?
crashed.
Yeah.
This application is not responding. The
Okay.
program may respond again if you wait. Well, I can't fucking do that.
What's the chat saying? Okay, there's Poppy. I think me or Stone will
What
start
the
distracting.
fuck is going on? Oh my gosh.
I think it's good you had those backups, Ovi. Despite you crashing, me and Stone can probably handle this with distracting. Okay, that was a dumb move.
I need a new computer. I need a new
And the
computer. What has been
Speaking
going
of new
on?
computer, my friend Sochi and I are talking about getting a PC once I get some employment.
Yeah, I need to get a
I'm
need to
20
get
and
a
I'm still
PC.
unemployed. I am a sad man.
I have to
20
save
and I'm
up.
still unemployed.
It
I'm
fucking
20 and I'm still unemployed.
crashed. That was such a good run
we just-
too.
Floor 18, yeah. Basically an average good run. Where's last machine? Pop the last machine. Let's get out of here, guys. You want? Okay, thank you, Stone. EAE,
Thank you,
Cosmo,
Hope I
EAE,
bought, but
EAE, Cosmo,
what the
EAE.
fuck?
Run in a certain direction so I can get my aggro tapes. Run, 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 run. Okay, good. I
think
can't
I'm-
see chat because I'm in the voice call. Oh my god, Dandy. I will shank you to death and make sure your children.
I
fear
think
me.
I'm just gonna go ahead and raid someone. That kind of just made me lose, like,
Interested in streaming?
for today,
We can play another round.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Probably. Oh crap!
The
Bees on
one
floor.
good round that I had literally fucking crashed because Roblox crashed.
Roblox is Roblox. It's a piece of shit.
Hi, it's not Bagel. It's actually Isso. Did I say it right?
This is
Isso,
not
Isso.
Bagel. This is this. It's the
Although
Sprout
Bagel
that plays
did
with them
make both
all the
of
time.
the PNGs, I'm gonna raid though because Roblox crashed while I was in the middle of distracting and it actually like.
I have 4 Twisteds on me at the moment. I got V as one of them.
Oh my gosh, Chuck Chan's live.
Exy spring and sprint away.
Y'all,
Please
I'm sending
consider
you
the
off to
following
Chuck
run away.
Chan. Chuck Chan's an awesome artist and a streamer. I love their vibes that they have for their entire channel. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to here. I still need to update. I think I'm gonna update. Oh yeah, Bagel
Come on,
was in
chat, we can
here.
do this.
Bagel was in here earlier. But they
You
had to
probably still
leave.
have-
I just
you're
forgot
probably still
to
have it. Don't worry, I'm fine.
change it,
I'm
but
fine. I still got stamina to spare. Having 200 stamina is good for this.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and raid Chuck Chan. I hope y'all have a nice day, night, whatever time it is for you. Be cool, be nice to the raidie. Chuck Chan is an amazing streamer and an artist. They use Krita like me. It looks like they're just doing like a little tired yippee stream. It's I love their little vibes that they have, but yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go ahead and go. Man, that fucking sucks. I can't believe that happened. I cannot believe that happened. But bye guys. Bye. We're gonna go ahead and rate them. Stream message is going to be Rock Raid, by the way. Hold up, let me type it. That's gonna be our raid message.